What up, what up, what up, what up? What up, y'all? This be your boy, Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for another lit live chat, honey. Yes, we are here. We are here. We are here. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to share the video to Twitter. Trying to also because I don't know why I didn't do it before, but I'm trying to post the thumbnail to my Instagram so people can come in. I don't expect for this to be like one of those lit ass lives, like like it normally would be for for stuff like Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm used to it. I already know what I'm gonna get with that. But when it comes down to this, I don't expect too many people to tune in. You know what I'm saying? You know, a good 50 folks might just tune into this. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. We'll see. But as you guys are coming in, make sure y'all light up this chat though. Make sure y'all do that, honey. Okay, make sure y'all do that because we're gonna have a conversation tonight. We're gonna have us a little conversation. We ain't gonna be up here for no more than an hour. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna tell y'all what we're here to discuss and ask for y'all thoughts on the matter. And then after we get into all that, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna let the people know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, not really let the people know what's up, but you know what I'm trying to say. We're gonna sit up here and let everybody come in and say their piece and stuff like that. We ain't gonna be up here all night. Hold on, y'all. Let's see. LOL, you always say that, then it'd be like three. Look, I don't expect no 300 folks to be coming up in here for to talk about this because some people already tried to deter me away tried to deter me from talking about this already. But I just wanted to talk about something else. Talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville can be draining as fuck. And I don't want it in my pores, child. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it in my pores at all. Hold on, you guys. I'm putting it on Instagram right now. Okay. So I'm about to get on camera real fast so we could talk, y'all, before I drop the link and stuff like that. Hold on, y'all. Okay, it's on my Instagram, y'all. So we're about to go ahead and get into this. I got my laptop open too, so I can actually respond to the comments. You know what I'm saying? So I can actually respond. But now I'm gonna get on screen, y'all. Okay, I don't want to keep y'all. I don't want to hold y'all up too long without my talking and stuff like that. Hold on, let me get my overlay off of here. What's up, y'all? This be your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we're officially in the building, y'all. We're officially in the building, and we're here to talk about Candiace, Dillard, and Wendy Osefo. Okay, that's what we're here to talk about because they made some quite interesting remarks on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. And I decided that what better way to have a real conversation about this and just talk about it with a live chat. Now, as I said already, I'm not really expecting too many folks to be up in here because this is this type of conversation, and not too many people want to discuss, colorism and stuff like that. Because, I just wanted to know if you guys think it's colorism or likability, and I'm definitely gonna play devil's advocate with this situation. Definitely. Hey, my boy Jeremy, what's up? You didn't have to change it, child. Everybody calls people call me Scott, and plus it's my daddy name too, so you could call me Scott. It don't matter, Jeremy. What's going on to my favorite prophet? Okay, too feisty, no Louise. There's so many of y'all up in here. Like I said, we only gonna be up in here for about an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into the tea right quick. And there ain't really no tea. It's just stuff that people been talking about. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start it off and get into it. Now, as you guys know, these two girls are a part of the show that's about to air in a couple of weeks, which is the Real Housewives of Potomac, one of the most toxic shows that's out there right now. It's been toxic since season 5, child, when Monique put her hands on Candiace. It's been toxic ever since, baby. But it is what it is. To each his own. Now, these two women are probably the most talked about on the show. They're probably the most talked about women on this show. And they are the ones that put it out there that there is colorism on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, when I first asked if you guys wanted to talk about this and do a lit live chat about this, like I said, there was somebody that said, well, we don't need to talk about this before the show airs. It's already toxic and things of this and things of that nature. But let me tell y'all this right here. Like I told y'all on my community wild today, I'm going to take a more a lighthearted approach to Potomac and the Love and Mary Chanceville show. I'm going to take a lighthearted approach to it. Now I'm not going to get too in my feelings about these shows because some things are triggering for me per se, and I try not to be so passionate. So I'm not going to be as passionate in these reviews as I normally would be. I'm going to give y'all lighthearted Scotty, the same one that's that people see outside of here. The same person that Brooke Ashley met, the same person that Mims met, the same person that Maddie and Josiah seen in person. All these different people, all y'all different favorites on YouTube that met me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to give y'all that because I don't want it to make it come across like, I'm super negative and super draining. I want to have fun reviewing these shows again because it hasn't been fun reviewing Real Housewives of Potomac in a very long time. But I decided that this would be a good conversation to have with the Scotty gang, okay? And I see Jeremy is up in here, so he's welcome to come up here as well. So let's get into it. Now, the conversation really started when Wendy retweeted somebody. Now, as you guys know, these are the same graphics from my Yes for the Mess earlier this week, okay? Yes, I kept them. And as you know, in the trailer, Mia had threw a glass of basically through what was it a martini up in Wendy's face. Now, before that trailer came out, people assumed that Wendy was the one throwing a drink. But then when Mia threw the drink, then that's when everybody was going up for the cause. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was going up when Mia threw the drink. So that's when this person named Miseducated said, they're already saying Wendy deserved a drink thrown at her. The laps that people run to defend these light-skinned women on this show, hashtag RHOP. Then that's when Wendy came and said, I vividly remember the outrage when people falsely assumed I threw a glass. Now we all see the truth, and magically the outrage disappears. How convenient. RHOP. Then that's when Candiace came along and said, I'm also excited to see what brown bag acrobatics are used to defend deplorable behaviors by certain sects of the viewership. Okay? That's what was said. And those two things prompted me to not only do a Yes for the Mess, but also do a lit live conversation. Because when it comes down to the Real Housewives of Potomac, this topic of colorism is definitely mentioned a whole lot. It's mentioned a lot. We can't get away from it. I would say that the first time a person ever mentioned something about colorism for me was OG on Basketball Wives. That was one of the first people that really got me hip to colorism because I was ignorant to the colorism thing. Like, I didn't understand colorism, didn't really know what colorism was, never really looked at things. Because for me, if I don't like you, I don't like you. I don't give a damn what shade of color you are. If I like you, I like you. If I don't, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't dislike nobody because they dark skinned. I don't dislike nobody because they light skinned. If you a trash person, I don't give a damn what shade you are. You just a trash ass person. You know what I'm saying? So now that I put that out there, and now that we know what we're talking about, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. We're not gonna sit up here, and I'm not gonna sit up here and talk y'all to death. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to let you guys come up right now, because like I said, we only got an hour to discuss this, because I'm not gonna be up here all night, child. Because I gotta continue fixing up last minute touches for boys night out for tomorrow. So there's the link. If y'all coming up, come up right now. I'm telling you, come up right now if you coming up. And if you are coming up, you don't have to cam up at all. You don't. You can stay behind the camera. You don't have to cam up. You don't have to do any of that. You could just come on up, say your piece, and all of that stuff. I know everybody's not going to agree with each other. So we can have a healthy dialogue, a healthy conversation about this. And it's cool. It's cool. I see 3 people already backstage. I'm waiting for others to come up. We all gonna talk one at a time. You know what I'm saying? We all gonna do the thug thizzle today. I want to have a good, healthy conversation about this for an hour. No more than an hour and 15 minutes, but an hour. Okay. I see 4 people already. I think I'm gonna go ahead and let people up, okay? And if you don't think that it's colorism, you're also welcome to come up. I'm open to all opinions, which is why even though y'all hate it when I do it, that's why I let people like E come up because she doesn't have the same opinion as everybody else, and I think that it's fun to hear different perspectives. So let me go ahead and let the people that's already backstage up. And hold on, you guys. Let's see. Okay, so
You know I was coming.
I already knew you was coming, girl. I already knew it. So before
Is that
I
too
let,
feisty?
huh?
I
Oh,
said,
she
was
said,
that too feisty?
Hey Nola, how y'all doing tonight?
Hey, boo, you know we always up here
You
working
know
on
how
Hey,
Scotty
you
nerves.
know we all
hey, too
family.
feisty. Hey, cousin Nolan.
Hello,
Shout out
okay.
to
So
everybody.
all
before,
the cousins.
okay, so before we start the convo, I just want to say that I'm glad you guys are here. First of all, glad everybody's up here. Everybody that's up here and that's coming up, I'm glad that you guys are here. I'm glad that we're having this discussion. And like I said, I'm open to all opinions. Of course, I will be playing devil's advocate on certain things because that's just the type of mediator I am. I try to see it from everybody's point of view. So let's have a this okay. I think we can have a civil conversation with this. This is not the Ariana shit where E coming up here pissing
Ooh.
everybody off. This is a this is a
Yeah.
different situation. I think we can all have a conversation.
Ooh, please don't speak
So
her up.
that without any further ado, the conversation is it colorism or is it likability? I'ma let I, I'm gonna let Two Feisty open this conversation up because she's been here with me the longest. I'm gonna let her start it off, and then everybody can jump in whenever they can. And I'm gonna mute myself. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, before I start, happy YouTube anniversary again, Scotty.
You a month early, girl. You know you're a month early, but I let you have that one.
We so okay, devil's advocate, right? I think it's both, but I think people don't want to look within and acknowledge the fact that part of the likability factor is rooted in colorism. That's usually my argument. It's like, okay, we're watching this show, we're watching women brag about all the stuff they have, right? So why is it more annoying for Wendy to brag about her education than it is for people to brag about having a rich husband, having homes, having designer labels? Like, why is that not annoying? But her mentioning how many years she spent in school and how many degrees she um accumulated, annoying, right? Now for some people, like whether they like, okay, let me go back. I like Candiace. I don't find Candiace as offensive as other people do, but I understand that her personality does not mesh well with everybody, right? But my issue when it comes to Candiace is, why is Candiace so offensive to you but not Ashley? Why does one bother you and not the other, when in my mind I think they both give as good as they get? And then again, why does Wendy bragging about her degrees and Karen bragging about her labels and her wigs? Monique, when she was on, she was very braggadocious as well. Ashley, she dangles that rich right husband in everybody's face. Nobody gets upset about that. Like I said, I don't think it's color. I don't think it's rooted in colorism for everyone, but I would challenge everyone to say, okay, why is it that I don't like this person? Why is it that this person bothers me and the other person who pretty much does the same exact thing doesn't? And I would also like to address the standard for behavior on this show. Why is the standard of behavior so high for Candiace, but all the other people who have just as bad of a mouth as she does, why don't we hold them to that same standard? That is where I think colorism falls in place. Whether it's direct or indirect, I think at the end of the day, because we do live in America, it's all rooted from some form of racism. I'm gonna pass the mic.
I'll pick it up. I do agree. I said in the comments before he dropped Scotty dropped the link. I was like, it's a mix of both colorism and likability. Wendy isn't like I'll say this. I didn't like I didn't did like the reason I disliked Wendy when she first came on the show wasn't because she was like bragging about her degrees. Girl, I got 2 degrees, and sometimes I forget I had them things. But after a while, it's just like I I got annoyed on the tip of I get annoyed with them bragging about, what labels they wear and how much their husbands make. And I just want everybody to find something else to talk about. But my dislike for Wendy when she first came on the show is because of the person she came into the show with. I'm not, I will never be a Giselle fan. But as you saw her moving away, I was like, okay, we're getting to know Wendy. I like Wendy. And she's a beautiful black woman. So there was nothing in the sense of, for me, it was like my dislike for Wendy came from how she got on the show and who was like her friend that brought her into the show. And I say friend in like quotation form. But then you have these other people who, you look at Wendy and yes, it's a mix of colorism because Wendy does have traditional Negro features, what are considered traditional Negro features, and she doesn't have Western features. Like I had a friend point out to me that she was like, yeah, your nose is like, I don't have like a, what you would consider like a nose that's synonymous with black people. And she was like, I would want your nose. And I was like, why? But with Wendy, it's just so easy to go at her for, oh, you talk too much about your degrees. Everybody brag about their stuff, okay? Everybody does. But for like Wendy and Candiace, both are dark skinned women. Candiace does have a reckless mouth, but so does Football Head, and so does Giselle. They have reckless mouths too, but she's the only one held to like task when it comes to how she speaks to people. And it's just like, well, you can't do that. If it's a problem with her and how she speaks to people, then it has to be a problem with you on how y'all speak to people because y'all quite possibly will say something that's 10 times worse than she could ever come up with, but you get away with it because, let's be clear, it's more acceptable of it coming out of the mouths of someone who, looks like, a kind of racially ambiguous, Robin, because for a while it was just like, and Katie pointed it out, it was like, you have to, like, are you sure that you don't have any clear people in your family? And she went off on her about it. And then when she did like the ancestry or whatever it is, you found out that, yes, so you picked up more of those like phenotypes. And now you present in this lighter skinned black woman. But now it's more acceptable for you to say the things you say and you get away with it. Like I have to bring up a podcast. I felt some type of way about what they said about James Harden. A few people did, but then it's just like it just went away and they were able to go along to get along and nobody said anything after it. But y'all used stereotypes and said the man had fried chicken and watermelon in his beard. Like, what is that? Is that not colorism? Is that not y'all showing y'all hands? Is that not showing how y'all been treating some of these darker skinned black women on this show? Or just, the brown skinned girls? The fact that, now see, I didn't hear about the whole drink throwing or, Wendy possibly throwing a drink on Mia. I never heard about that. That's probably because I don't really follow them when they off the show. But now that we see the clip of Wendy's just sitting down and a drink gets tossed on her, first of all, you don't throw no drinks on nobody. Second of all, why is it so acceptable for me to be throwing drinks? Is it because, she's more likable? Or is it because, she's not a dark skinned black woman? Why is it that now it's, oh, Wendy must have done something? Nobody deserves to have a drink thrown on them. I don't care what they said or what they did. Don't be throwing drinks. If you can't speak to them about how you feel, to the point where you either have to take it to the point where you're getting violent with them or throwing stuff at them, then you need to get up and walk away. It's a mix of colorism and likability. People don't like Candiace because of her mouth. People don't like Wendy because they feel like she brags too much about, her degrees and her being a, not an anchor, but, a person who works with the different like news stations and different stuff about that. But why is it that a black woman being proud of what she has. She's proud. She's proud that she has these degrees. She's proud that she's been able to do this. Everybody else is allowed to be proud. And when I say everybody else, I mean everybody who's not black is allowed to be proud of everything that they have done and accomplished in this world. But the minute she gets on TV and does it, it's a problem. But we get to sit up here and listen to Karen, Giselle, Robin, even though I'm not seeing how Robin can talk because she ain't got no money. But we got to listen to them brag about how they have money and how rich they men are and how they're wearing labels and how they're wearing this and how they're driving that and the trips they've been on, even though them trips was like 20 odd years ago. Why is it okay, once again, for them to brag about all of this stuff? But when it comes to women like Candiace was bragging about her music career, I didn't listen to her music, but I'm not like a fan. Like, I'm very particular on who I listen to. But her bragging about her music career got people in the comments calling her out her name and doing all types of, like, I'm going to say it's weird stuff. Like, you don't know these people. I always preface this with, we don't know them personally. So what we get is what we get from them, but you don't know them enough to call them out their names. Go at them for how they look. You don't know them. So at some point, people have to look within themselves, black people included, and ask themselves, is the reason why I don't like this person because of the way they look? Is it the reason why I don't like this person the way they act? Or is it just because I just plain old don't like them? I'm a person, it's equal opportunity. I don't care what you look like, who you date, where you come from. If I don't like you, I don't like you. It's equal opportunity for everybody. And I'll pass it on.
All right.
All right, and I pick it up over here. So here's my thing. I think it's a bit of both. What I don't like, and yes, Candace mouth can be a bit much. It not even a bit much. It can be a lot of much. Okay, but my thing is when she responds, and this has absolutely nothing to do with colorism. If you come at me with a palm tree of shade and I drop a forest on you, if you don't have a desert or something else to drop on me, then you should have never come at me. You can't police anybody's response. People were mad at Candace for coming at Mia about her video and things like that. But my thing is, where was the outrage of Candace for Mia asking Candace mama about her husband? She didn't know that lady like that to ask that lady that. You know what I'm saying? In real life, don't ask my mama nothing about my husband. Where I felt like it was colorism for me, it was the goalpost being pushed back at the reunion. Well, Candace, you say this, you say this. To me, your mom is not worse than Karen saying essentially Giselle Hot Pocket was on fire and she was a hoe from way back. That's to me a whole lot worse than making it seem like my cooch is infected and I'm dropping it low and spreading it wide, infecting other people than your mom. I
Uh,
don't know. Everybody's different. You could tell me my mom and I come back with your mom back, but you walk around here acting like I got a diseased cooch. That's the problem. Then another thing, when Giselle expressed how her children felt a certain kind of way because she said Wendy looked at him like that or whatever. Wendy said she wasn't. I can't tell what the mood was. I wasn't there to see it all. But Wendy apologized to Giselle about her children. But why was it a problem when Eddie said it was a rumor, but my children, and to Giselle, and Giselle gave zero fucks? There was no outrage about her saying no, she don't owe them kids an apology. But if you say gray shoe is gray and it was really charcoal, you know what I'm saying, instead of just regular gray, oh, you owe Grace an apology. That's the problem for me. It's the goalposts being pushed back for the others that's not giving. Like at the end of the day, why is Robin on this show? Because what is she giving? Maybe Juan Dixon will be here this season since they got a marriage license. But what is she giving?
nothing.
You know what I'm saying? Giselle, you
Nothing
did
at
all
all.
of this at a construction site of a home.
That's crack
You were
house.
being shady. You were saying these
That's
people
not
could
even a
come in
crack
your
house.
house to use the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just nasty to me. So it's to me, yes, Candace has a nasty mouth, but Giselle has nasty ways as well. You know what I'm saying? Her mouth may not be as vicious, but her ways are nasty. And I just want to know, what is she going to say about Mia throwing that drink in Wendy's face? You was upset about hands being thrown. I'm more upset about a drink being thrown because that's against my religion. We don't waste no alcohol.
You
But
don't waste no good
you know what
drink.
I'm saying? To me, throwing a drink in somebody's face, you might as well throw your hands at me because my hands gonna come back after that drink. So I want to know, how is that going to be
That
seen?
part.
Then, Prophet, go ahead. Prophet.
Can I say something really quick while we wait?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So I'm trying to respond to someone's comment. I just want to address the fact that I don't like when people say like, oh, you guys are discussing colorism, like let's just like put that aside and pool our like somebody in the comments just said pooling resources and coming together. And I'm just like, that is problematic.
Mm-hmm.
We are having
That's
different
facts.
experiences in this world as Black people, especially like we're talking about Black women and what their experiences are in a world that is globally, racism is global. Okay, this is not just an American concept. And you are telling people that their experiences and their pain should not be discussed because it's an inconvenience to you or because it's
Facts.
divisive. It's not divisive. I should be able to speak
Exactly.
my experiences in this
That's
world,
true.
and someone should listen, someone should care. And the fact that people are saying, well, we shouldn't talk about that, let's just come together. Why is it that you think discussing these experiences mean we're not coming together? Why is it divisive in your mind?
That's
You
true.
should stop telling
They
people
don't
that.
like the conversation. They do not like it. Even the cast don't. Anytime it's mentioned, they start deflecting like a mother.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's the issue.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, because
I agree.
ultimately, when we're talking about colorism, we're talking about what we experience within our community. Like, we know racism
Mm-hmm.
is what happens outside of our community, and colorism is a global thing. It's not just rooted in the Black community, but we're talking about how we treat one another. So, how do we treat each other differently if we don't discuss what we're experiencing and how it makes us feel? How do you know something you said to me hurt me if I don't tell you that it hurt me?
Exactly.
So
Can I
please stop silencing people and telling them like, "Oh, it's divisive." It's not divisive. It's necessary.
can I say this before Prophet goes?
Mm-hmm.
Because it came up when Nola was speaking about the whole when Karen insinuated that the Satan's mistress had a hot box. When she said that Satan's mistress, and it goes to why is it that y'all move the goalpost like Nola said, and try to hold Candiace to a higher standard, but y'all not holding everybody else to this higher standard. Why was it okay for
Mm-hmm.
Karen to insinuate anything about that woman's mental health, talking about he basically drove you to the brink of insanity and had you in Sing Sing? First of all, Sing Sing is a male prison, but I digress. What you meant was she probably had to have a 5150 and they had her on maybe a 72-hour hold. But why is it okay for you to insinuate any? And I like Karen, but as we're talking about this in this situation, you not only said the Satan's mistress had a hot box, but you also basically insinuated that lady was crazy and she had to be put into you know a psychiatric ward. So why is it okay to say all these things, but when Candiace says your mama, guess what? It can be your mama, especially if I don't like you. Your mama, your mama was a whole show about people telling
Yes.
jokes. So
Facts.
why is it that it's so wrong for her to say that? But now you got people saying, well, insinuating about somebody's sexual health, insinuating about somebody's mental health, talking about people's children. If we have to bring it up,
Mm-hmm.
even if y'all don't like the lady, when they tried to create the whole rumor situation that Monique was cheating on her husband with the trainer and that their last child was not his, the fact that Ashley said the reason why that lady had a miscarriage is because she was
Was an
drinking.
alcoholic.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she was an
Yeah.
alcoholic. Why is it okay for everybody
Mm.
else to say these things and y'all don't do nothing? Because Monique is a dark skinned woman too. And it was just like, well, did you cheat on? Like, it wasn't like, stop talking about her. Like, don't insinuate that. Don't wish that on nobody's marriage. It was like, well, did you cheat on your husband? Are you an alcoholic? It wasn't like, why are y'all saying
Mm.
these things? So why is
Okay.
it okay for y'all to say this stuff? But when a Candace hits back with you, because I say she got a reckless mouth, and so do I. but I understand the consequences of having a reckless mouth. Why is it that now it's just like, don't say that, or you move the goalpost and then try to hold her to task when y'all don't even hold yourselves accountable for the ish y'all spit out? Like the venom y'all spit out is 10 times worse than what she could come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Before she even joined the show.
All right. Well, let's let the bottom four talk real fast. I had said Prophet could go because Prophet didn't go yet. So go ahead, Prophet. Then we're gonna go across.
Sorry, I'm here. I was just getting something to drink. But yeah, at that point, there's a lot of what I was going to touch on. The issue with colorism, not only with the cast, but also it's a lot of times it's the fans and their reactions to a lot of the stuff that happens. Like the way everybody loves to villainize Candiace for any and every little thing she says. It can be even the smallest of things. They can villainize. Your mama was a big thing. They vilify her over saying your mama. But as somebody already mentioned, Karen has said some reckless things. Ashley has the worst mouth of all of them. She has the worst mouth and has said and done some of the most vile things. She's talked about marriages. She said she spread rumors about people. She's done so many sneaky things. But every other season, if somebody goes against her or say something against her, here you go, Ashley and the cast, all telling that if it's Candiace or Wendy, they over here telling them, apologize to her. You have to apologize to her. Like she demands an apology from them. And it's really only them two or Monique whenever anything happened between them. But at the same time, nobody calls that out. Nobody says anything about it. It's she should apologize. No, it's not. It's not right because she never ever apologizes. The majority of the time, she never apologizes for the stuff that she says or does to any of these women. So it's an issue of that, and then there's also the fact that you know that the lighter skinned females on the cast they're together, they're locked together as a group. As much as Karen goes at Giselle and Robin and talks about them, they're still a team because she said it during that season, last season reunion when she told Candiace, if you keep doing what you're doing, we're gonna ice you out. She threatened that girl, basically saying we're gonna get you gone if you keep responding the way that you responding, even though her mouth is just as worse as Candiace. Giselle's mouth is just as worse as Candiace. Ashley has the worst mouth. It's an issue of this constantly happening, and then constantly trying to come at their Wendy or Candiace, no matter what they do. And I can agree that Wendy did do a lot last season when it came to La Cienega, aka Mia. She did a lot. Yes, it was, but does it? But she doesn't do as much as the others. If it Ashley, she did worse. Her first 3 seasons, she did worse. She's like, it's ridiculous how much they come at these women. And what Wendy was talking about was very much true. Like when that rumor came out that something happened, that somebody spilled the drink or throw something at somebody for Potomac this season, everybody thought it was Candiace. Everybody was in the comments. It was probably Candiace. It was probably Candiace. She needed to be fired. And then when it came out that Wendy was involved and Candiace wasn't there, then they went straight to Wendy. It was Wendy. Yeah, I knew it. She probably deserved it. It's her fault. She deserved it. And then next thing you know, we see that La Cienega was the one that threw it. And what's everybody come out? Yes, yes, you did that, Queen. Do that. Mind you, she missed that entire thing. She did not hit Wendy at all. But at the same time, that's the issue. Why are you celebrating? It ain't like La Cienega was this fan favorite. Nothing. She was annoying last season. She did nothing but just come at the people. Every single situation she was in, she started it majority of the time, except for with Wendy. She started it majority of the time, and she went low. But everybody forgiving her. She's not telling. Nobody's saying she needs to be fired. They're not saying it's ridiculous. I hate the double standard. It's definitely colorism, and people like to ignore it, but it's there. It's annoying. I'm over it. I'm done.
Okay. Nikki, you can go, and then after Nikki, then CC, then Justin, and then after all three of you guys go, I'm gonna give you guys some questions because I'm looking at the chat as you guys speak. That's why I'm not saying anything. I'm just looking at the chat. I'm kind of gathering what people are saying in the chat as a way for me to ask you guys questions based off of what they're saying in the chat. So, Nikki, you're next.
I think hi. I think it's a bit of both. I feel like people don't like her just because they don't like her. Wendy and Candiace. Yes, I don't agree with everything they do. But when I first saw the video on Instagram months ago during that drink though, I didn't know who it was, to be honest. Cause I didn't think it was Candiace either, cause I didn't see her for one. And then when it came out that it was Wendy and her fighting, I'm like, Wendy and Mia. I really didn't have no opinion because I was like, let me not judge. But I did see people saying, "Oh, she deserved it." But once we saw in the trailer, it's another story. And I feel like too, when now Wendy's kind of, not to keep bringing up Monique or anything, now she's kind of getting what Monique went through. And also, Robin's aggressive too. Because remember how
Very.
she season 2 when she was all up in Ashley's face?
Yes, I was waiting for
And
her turn
Monique's
to come
face. She got
around.
at
She
both of
went
their
to that
face and tried to
lady's
fight them.
business. She went to that lady's
Yeah.
She
business.
was aggressive last season too when Wendy was calling out Giselle. She was like, "What the fuck you talking about?"
She definitely tried to physically
Yeah,
intimidate several of the
exactly.
cast members, several of them.
Who?
And
Robert?
Her big man
and
showed her
last
ass.
season, yeah, and last season when Wendy she was speaking to Robin, how she felt her way, Robin had nerve to say she was being aggressive, and Wendy wasn't even being aggressive
No,
when
it
she was
was.
speaking.
No, she was calmly talking. Robin was more aggressive than Wendy.
Listen, Rick James is
Exactly.
always going to be very aggressive when it comes to the Satan's mistress. I don't know why. I don't particularly care at this point. I don't even care to make up a name for them in that type of codependent trash situation they got going on. But to say that Wendy was being aggressive, no, she was calmly talking to you because you decided to get beside yourself and say something about her husband and her situation. Now, she could
Exactly.
have took it there if she wanted to, but I feel like Randy Jackson feels because she got broad shoulders and she was married to an NBA player and then lost all his money that she physically intimidating. And maybe because she rolled her own football head down to that restaurant and kind of checked her with the umbrella, even though she got pressed with said umbrella, that, she Big Bank Hank, she Billy Badass, she security around here. You ain't secure nothing. Sit it down and be quiet because I got somebody bigger, taller, and stronger than you. And that's a girl, okay? That will press you if need be.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Giselle and Robin used to make fun of Monique's podcast. What is it? Not for Lazy Mom.
Yeah, not for lazy
That
mom.
Yeah, she used to make
that
fun
they
of
used
that
to
a lot.
always. But then now last year, now they got their own podcast. But they copying everything Monique doing though.
Ow.
True.
Yeah, I wonder how what Giselle gonna say about that one after. I wonder how that's gonna play out after Mia threw that drink at Wendy.
They're not gonna say nothing. Had it been Candace, anybody else to be like, "Oh my god,
And
she needs
Giselle
to be
doesn't like Wendy.
fired."
Remember, she
Yeah,
doesn't like Wendy, so she probably wish she had 2 drinks to throw.
True.
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Okay.
I
Oh,
feel,
I'm sorry. Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Nikki.
I'm sorry. I feel
Go
like
ahead,
for
Nikki.
just one more thing. I feel like Wendy is gonna probably get the same treatment like how Monique got a little bit this season
Mm.
because they trying to.
Which
It look like they
season
trying
of
to gear
Monique?
for Sharice to come back.
Which
Five.
season of Monique?
Four going into five, and the rest of five.
Season 5, her last
She deserved the
season.
treatment she got on season 5. No shade. I ain't gonna lie.
We're gonna get into that conversation. That's part of my question. I try not to talk about Monique at all when we talk about Potomac Child, but it's.
She got a lot of fans,
Yeah.
But
child.
um, however, CC, you're next. Who better shut up about Sheree? Who is this in the chat, child? Who you talking to, honey?
Who's talking about Sheree?
So I ain't got
Oh,
nothing to do with this
girl.
How did
Go
Sheree
ahead,
get
conversation.
involved?
CC.
Burrell's fruit. I'm sorry, I say Burrell's fruit. No one is jealous of Sheree. If you got a problem Well, you could go see down my channel. I said everything I
Oh,
need
they
to.
trolling.
Yeah, trolling. Nobody cares about
Nobody
Sheba.
worried
We
about
love a
Sheba
good troll. I
scam.
laugh at the trolls,
We're not
y'all.
we're not talking about Sheba
No,
Alibaba. We're not talking about her. This is a
No,
competition.
Child,
Sheba
no,
Sheen
no,
let's
can go.
let's
no.
continue with the conversation. Go ahead,
I'm about
CC.
to
I'm
say
not
let
gonna.
Justin go and let's be respectful to Scotty and everyone in the chat, or you will be dismissed about the chat if you get disrespectful.
Boom.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, CC. CC. Okay, Justin. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, and first of all, my mama is in the house, y'all. Say hey to
Hi,
Hey,
my mama in the chat.
hi.
Hey,
Scotty.
Mama Scotty.
Hey, Mama Scotty.
Hey, hi,
Yeah.
Mama Scotty.
Go ahead, Justin.
Okay, so now this whole, oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I agree. I think it's a mixture of both. Um, for Gizzard and Robert, whatever. Oh, Rob, I can't with them. First of all, Giselle's been jealous of Monique since season, like the first time she came on the show. She got mad because she checked her about having 4 or 5 houses, just because Giselle can't pay for her house. She's mad about it because I don't. And then the thing about the colorism, Wendy, I like her and I dislike her at the same time. I agree with one of y'all said in the chat that Wendy, she's basically getting back what she deserves, kind of. Because for me, Wendy, she was good because she knows how to read and she knows how to articulate herself. And Giselle and Robert can't hang for that. And for Wendy, she's, how do I explain it? Wendy's very, I did think she bragged a lot about her degrees. I'm not even gonna lie. In my opinion, I felt like always she did it to put other people down because she would always bring it up in a place where our arguments that had no business arguing. Like she would always bring it up like, "Oh, you're just that because you just have no degrees and I have more than you, but you're still on the same platform as everybody else." Like, and she no shade. She's done a lot of things and she's accomplished a lot, but over time, like season 6, she has grown to me, but also it's that give and take. But also for her, I also didn't. She was also a problem just because, like, when season 6 happened, when Giselle brought the rumor up about her husband, she was threatening to whoop her Giselle's ass and threatening to fight and saying that she was gonna do this when she was the one person who told Monique that you can't fight. You know, people always told me that they called my kids the N word, called me a bitch and all the other stuff, but she was the one who was trying to threaten to fight somebody. So that's what I was looking at. Like, but Wendy, you were just talking about people shouldn't fight people. People should learn how to talk with their words. So now you're getting back what you did because, to be honest, Monique never really did anything to Wendy. Wendy wanted to dislike Monique, tried to fit in with Rupert and Giselle. For some reason, I don't know why. Because it's weird because Giselle
Because they
and
sorority
Rupert,
sisters.
right, and Giselle.
Uh,
Go ahead. Oh, you want to say
I was
something?
going to say that Wendy came in as Candiace's friend. Just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to shout that out. And
That's
she
true.
didn't do anything to Monique. She just didn't like what Monique did
Yeah, I
Right.
want to respond when you're
because
done.
she
I'm
had
gonna
no
let
right
you
to do
finish
that.
first. I'm sorry.
I agree that Monique had no right to do that. That's. I just feel like Wendy should have got to know Monique for herself instead of outly just judging her for no reason. Because a lot of people, yes, this show is about reading and shading, but when someone's already upset with you and you antagonize someone, I think that you should have enough respect to walk away, but it also people do reach their breaking points. And go ahead, Scotty. Sorry,
No, I was just about to say, is the troll back? Because now they Beyonce's fruit child. If y'all don't
not
get
Beyonce.
If y'all don't get them out of here, child, go ahead. If you're done, Justin, you can let Jazzy go. She just came up. If you done.
Okay. I have one more thing to say, and then with the whole thing about the colorism, yes, I do agree because Giselle is she's a contradictory. She likes to contradict herself a lot, especially when she said at the season 5 reunion, like, I would never call a brown skin or a dark skinned woman aggressive. When she did it on the boat, when in season 6 when they went on the boat ride, she called Wendy combative and aggressive because Wendy got them together real quick. And that's the thing that I love about Wendy because they can't really match her. And also, when it comes to Candiace, yeah, they can't match her either. And that's also their problem, is because when you come for somebody and they go at you 10 times harder, you just got to be able to take it. Go ahead, Jazzy.
I just have a question. Did Wendy owe Monique anything? Because the fight
Nope.
happened closer
I
to
don't know.
the fight happened close to the end of the season, and we can see from the beginning till up until the fight, Wendy and Monique were perfectly fine with each other.
That's
Exactly.
Wendy came in as Candice's friend. In
Hmm.
my mind, if I'm friends with somebody, I don't really know everybody else. I'm friends with
And
this
they were
person.
attached.
She just got attacked. What is
Why
there
would
for
I be
me
on her
and the
side?
person who attacked her to have a conversation about? I don't think she
Exactly.
really owed her anything. Wendy was not a part of the plot with Monique and her child. She had nothing to do with that because she wasn't even on the season when that happened. So I don't see how this is karma for her.
I
I agree.
We're just seeing a
Can I
pattern of
respond to that?
Giselle attacking people's marriages.
I'd
That's
like
what
to
I'm seeing
respond
true.
to
with
that.
Cause
with
she ain't got
Wendy.
nothing else to do. She
I
lonely.
don't.
She's
Is the troll back at Sheree Marlowe?
It's a couple trolls.
Oh my god.
I
I don't think that's the troll because I've seen that troll. I'm about to say I've seen that troll. I've seen that account before coming on my video, so I'm not sure if that's the same person. But we're gonna give it a chance and see if that's the
It's a
same.
couple of them rolling through. But can I respond really quick to that? So I think the
Yeah.
perception that everybody is missing, well, let me not say missing. I think something that people may not have remembered, this was a while ago. If you guys go back to when they had the trip to Monique's lake house,
Hold on, y'all.
and
That
Hmm.
is the troll. Get rid of it, child.
when they had the trip to Monique's lake house and Wendy and Ashley first got into it. This is one of the reasons why I really just genuinely do not like Ashley Pennywise.
Same.
No.
Pennywise.
I I feel like she's the type of woman who rests in her light skin privilege,
Hmm.
She does.
and she has Karen like responses to certain things, and she weaponizes the fact that she has a rich white husband. In that
True.
Yep.
moment, if you guys don't believe me, I want you to go back and pull up the clip from the argument at the lake house when Wendy said, "Hey, I'm a new mother as well. I just had a baby. I had to pump around the clock, which I don't have no kids, but I heard it's painful.
Yeah. Hmm.
To get enough breast milk to be able to come on this trip and leave the babies home. If you guys would have let me bring my baby, it would have been more convenient for me as well. And Ashley got to bring hers because remember, this is Monique's trip." And
True.
Ashley responded, she was like, "Oh, but my husband are watching the kids." And she was like, "Well, my husband has to work." No, excuse me. She said, "My husband has to work." She was like, "My husband has to work too. My husband owns his own company. My husband is a lawyer." Like they were going back and forth like that. And if you remember in that scene, Ashley is the one that took it from like just communicating with words to now we're including a physicality in it. Ashley is moving, Ashley's pacing back and forth, she's extending her arms. So Wendy is in turn matching her response. Okay, now fast forward to dinner later that evening when they are addressing the argument in the kitchen. Ashley was kind of, like I said, having a Karen like response and alluding to Wendy not being as smart. So Wendy in response is like, "Girl, you're not going to out argue me. I'm a political commentator. I argue for a living and I have 4 degrees. I'm a lot smarter than you are." That is how the 4 degrees conversation kept coming up, because she was trying to size Ashley, because again, Ashley's very sneaky with her reactions.
That's true.
She, like I said, Ashley gives you delicate flower when she wants to be vicious, but she doesn't want to be painted as a monster, right? So what I'm saying is, in that moment, Monique was riding for Ashley because they were friends. She was riding for Ashley, and I think that is what left a bad taste in Wendy's mouth for Monique. I don't think it all came to like, oh, you got violent and you shouldn't have gotten violent. She came on this show as Candiace's friend. That is the first person she made a connection with on this show. She also has Giselle, who they're getting to know each other, and they already have the sorority background. Now we have this interaction. You didn't let me bring my baby, but you let another person bring their child. You're minimizing my experience of being a new mother and having to leave my preemie at home, and telling me it doesn't matter because I already have kids. And in this argument with me and this girl where she's escalating the issue, she wasn't even talking to Ashley when they got into it. You're taking her side. I think that left a bad taste in her mouth for Monique. I don't think it ever was rooted in, I'm kissing behind Giselle. So I'm just like offering you guys a different perception. And then again, too, I just think it's really unfair to be like, she deserves this. Because like at the end of the day, that fight was between Candiace and Monique. And the people who really pushed her off of that show was Robin and Giselle. Wendy, yes, she may not have put up a fight and argued for Monique to stay around, but she didn't actually do anything. Wendy is not the reason why Monique is no longer on this show. The fault lies with Giselle and Giselle's issue with Monique. So I think it's kind of unfair to be like, she's getting her karma. Wendy didn't really do anything to Monique. Wendy didn't have any power to keep Monique from being able to be on the show.
That's true.
Hey, Gaber. Cece and Brittany, you guys are next, and then I'm gonna ask the questions that I need to ask. Then we're gonna roll out because it looks like we're finna go over the time. So Cece and Brittany, you guys are next up.
Brittany, you can go.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So I just want to continue off of the point of the last caller. And it really bothers me when people bring up Monique, because Monique herself, in my opinion, also pushed colorism on the show, right? Because we have to remember, colorism is when you show favor to lighter skinned people. Monique has always shown favor to the lighter skinned people on the show. Ashley calls you a drunk driver to the point where viewers are blaming you for your own miscarriage. One apology from Ashley, now she's your sister. Robin has never really given you the time of day. She literally gets in your face, does arguably worse than what Candiace did because there was no table in between you, told you to do it, and you somehow found a way to walk away and not black out. Giselle, 4 seasons of her ignoring you, treating you like crap, not giving you a time of day. All of the times you, Monique, would go to Giselle and try to have a conversation with her, right? And now we come to season 5, and you're saying that this woman talked about your child and she is in your home and you're going out to lunch with her and you're planning parties with Ashley, and all you give her is reading a phone number out of a book at the end of the season. All these 3 lighter skinned women have done you so dirty, and yet you've never felt the need to threaten to throw a water bottle at them or whatever she said in season 4, or put their hands on them. The one dark skinned girl who has always had your back. Every time the group wanted to go against Candiace, suddenly Monique got a voice, you know, at that table, trying to force her to apologize to Ashley. Again, trying to say, oh, maybe we should ice her out. She has always seen herself as above Candiace. Candiace never did anything to her, but she's now the one that you want to fight. And then again, like the last caller said, everything with Wendy, like Monique had no reason to say any weird stuff towards Wendy. Wendy didn't do anything to her. So Monique herself is an agent of colorism. She has always treated the lighter skinned people with more respect than the darker skinned people. So when people try to bring her up, especially during the season 5 reunion, when she clearly states that color isn't an issue, when Wendy is saying that it is, that's it's just not true. And it's like we can have these conversations and talk about whether it is or it isn't. But when it comes to Monique, it just bothers me when people just straight up lie and say that she's saying things that she never said or doing things that she never did. So that's just my issue.
Hey, really
Yeah.
B. CC, you're next, child. I've been trying to
Thank
get you to talk
you.
for the longest, honey.
Child, because my Wi-Fi is ghetto. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
we
Oh
Yes.
can.
my gosh. Okay, so hi everyone. Um, I just wanted to say this. I watch this television show as TV. It's quote unquote reality, but it's not. This is all set up. It's all, whatever. I will say I don't I've been watching since season 1. I don't like pretty much anybody on the show. Like I don't go up for anybody. I really don't. I I like I can stand Karen probably like most, like I can tolerate her the most. But everybody else is completely dispensable. I actually see it for Wendy a little bit more because she went at Giselle. And I feel like a lot of people was on her side because of the way she went for Giselle. And even though I like Monique, I'm going to be fair. Wendy did what Monique did not do. And that is what I can definitely say. She did what Monique did not have the balls. She didn't have the cojones to do.
Mm.
And that's unfortunate. But, anyway, I don't want to keep talking about Monique. But I will say this. I just watch it as a show and not to ignore. I'm not ignoring the colorism at all. I just feel like this is not the platform for that. You know what I mean? Like these are contrived scenes and people make stuff up and they're trying to make a TV show. You know what I mean? So like all this stuff is fake. So I don't believe that there is I believe that there is colorism. I will say that, but I don't believe that it's all colorism. I think we've all said that up here. I will say back to Brittany's point about the stuff with Monique, and she was not feeling it with Ashley, wasn't feeling it with Giselle and Robin, and then all of a sudden she was Ashley's friend, and then kissing Giselle's behind. But I will say from the previews, it looks like Candiace about to do the same damn thing. Because now, for all whatever reason, she's friends with Ashley, and Ashley, you done pulled butter knives out on the
Facts.
child, and you done did this, and you done did that, and da 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 da. And I don't know how, and I don't know why, and I really don't care. But now y'all getting ready to be friends. Y'all sitting in there, spilling tea or whatever. Cool. But I'll say this for my ladies, my dark skinned ladies that's on the show, Wendy, Candiace. If y'all have such a stance against this, get off the show. Like if it's bothering you that bad, just go ahead and get off. Like because like we either gonna leave it at reality TV or we gonna make this a platform that we talk about colorism. To me, it gets messy because I feel like, and I'm darker than both of them. So if I hope nobody in the comments saying anything, I don't know that they are, but I'm just saying. I think that it's a little convenient on their side to speak about colorism because they know that people are going to cape for them. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I see the colorism, I see this, that, and the other, when they find themselves in hot water, if that
They're
makes
the
any
most
sense.
hated.
Like they find
That's true.
what.
They're the most hated. Everybody ignores their points. Whenever they bring up colorism, everybody ignores it. So nobody's gonna cape for them, except for the people that actually see it.
Yeah,
And
nobody
regardless if
stands
they
up for them at
leave,
all.
if they leave, another black female, dark skinned female is gonna come, and the colorism still is gonna be there.
Right, and I
So
agree.
not addressing it is not. It's
Doesn't
not
mean it goes
possible.
away.
It's not
Yeah.
gonna go away. It's gonna still be there. So even if they leave, we're still gonna have that issue of them being colorist.
I agree
Okay.
with that.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate here because we're nearing the end now. So let me play devil's advocate here because I have a couple of questions for you guys. Okay, the part that kind of makes me straddle the lines of is it colorism or likability? Because a lot of the times, and I'm not saying any of you guys up here say that, but a lot of the times it comes across as if you say you don't like Candiace, you're a colorist. If you say you don't like Wendy, you're a colorist. Reasons why I say that is because in the past, when Wendy first came on Potomac, I didn't like Wendy. Despite the fact that I said she was a beautiful woman, she was cute, she was beautiful, she was educated. I love the fact that she was educated, beautiful, dark skinned woman, all of this stuff. I didn't like her personality. Her personality was off putting to me. But because I said that, then you're colorist, you're xenophobe, you're this, you're that. If I say anything about Candiace, if I say, well, I don't like the way she said that, I don't like the way she did that, despite the fact that I drag Giselle and Robin and Mia on every damn video, but the moment I say something about Candiace is, well, it's because it's Candiace, because she's a dark skinned female and all this other stuff. What, like, is it a point to where we can't say anything negative about Candiace or Wendy just because they are dark skinned? And is it, or like, for example, we can call Ashley aggressive, but we can't call Candiace or Wendy aggressive if they're showing aggressive tendencies. So if we call those things out, then we're colorists. So can somebody answer that for me? Because that's the
I
part where
will.
it kind of straddles the fence for me. It's like
That's a
I
good
don't really
question.
know if it's
I will.
colorism or I don't really know if it's just likability.
I
I
will
want
answer
to.
this. So here's my thing. And I get exactly what you're saying, Scotty. It's the thing for some
Mm-hmm.
people that two things can exist at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Ashley is aggressive. To me, when
Very.
Wendy was blowing down Giselle, she was just reading her. To me, it wasn't aggressive, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the thing where fans, some fans, not all, say it's colorist is because when you see the side conversations of Giselle and Robin, or Karen and Robin, or Karen, Robin, and Giselle, their side conversation when Ashley goes off is, oh girl, you saw her, she was going off. The term
Mm-hmm.
aggressive isn't used towards her. But if you get a Wendy or a Candice that goes
They're
off,
so
the term
aggressive.
is they're so aggressive. Okay, so
They're inciting violence.
that's where people are
Yes.
saying, because aggressive is a term that's used as a dog whistle towards black women, especially the
Mm-hmm.
darker skin black women. But I mean, to act like colorism doesn't exist, it very well does. Just
It
like
does.
if you get into somebody, I've gotten to arguments with people and they'll tell me with your black ass because I'm dark, and I'll be like with your light bright. We do that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So we make
Mm-hmm.
the distinguishing in
I
our own
agree.
everyday lives sometimes with people that we know. But that's where the line is drawn. It's when they get into the conversation. I think they both can be aggressive. I think everybody on this show can be aggressive. We've seen
They
Robin
all
be
have been
aggressive.
Hmm.
at
They
We've
some
all
seen
point.
have been. They
Giselle
all
be
have
aggressive.
been.
We've seen Karen be aggressive. We've seen them
Mm-hmm.
all be nasty. We've seen them all do things that in real life their hands had better match their mouth
Yes,
That's
for
true.
the
true.
Exactly.
stuff
That's
that
true.
has come out of
Hmm.
it. You know what
Also,
I'm saying? We've seen it with all of them. But where people think that the cast is colorist, it's the sidebar conversations or the sidebar confessionals
How
with
they label
mixing
Candace and Wendy compared to the
how
rest
they're
of them.
being used. And that's where people, for me, I call a spade a spade. When Monique had her binder and was talk about Pastor Slinger D, I didn't have no problem because you came for me, my marriage, and my husband.
Not one
When
problem.
Wendy went off, I felt like she was going off because you came for me and my husband in my marriage. Anybody in their right
Exactly.
mind would defend
Absolutely.
that.
mm-hmm.
That's true.
So that wasn't an aggression. It wasn't a microaggression. But they do give microaggressions in their shade. And
Hmm.
it's
I can
different depending
agree.
on who they talk to.
I can
Mm-hmm.
agree. So here's another
From
question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
uh,
ahead, Prophet. Go ahead.
I would say for me, it's about accountability. I have
Mm-hmm.
no issue if you don't like Candace or Wendy. You have every right to not like them because they do a lot sometimes. Like I said, Wendy first season she did do a lot. Last season she did do a lot every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is accountability. If you're gonna be mad at Candace or Wendy because they do this, because Candace's reads are so foul and so off the hook, and they do, and she has a horrible mouth. But you can sit there and cheer on Karen and be like, "Oh my God, Karen is a queen," but she just said that woman hotbox, talked about that woman vagina, said all this type of things about
Mental
Giselle,
health.
which I was mental health and everything, which I don't care for because I don't care for Giselle. So I'm happy she did that regardless. But if you fine with that and you have no outrage or anything for anything anybody else says, because Ashley has some of the worst mouth. She has the worst mouth on the show
Oh, for sure.
compared to anybody on this cast. But no one is making hashtags somebody fire Ashley. No one is saying her mouth is so horrible and saying that this that it's always Candiace. Candiace is always the one that they go at the most, and now it's Wendy as well because they feel like they're doing the most, but they can't say the rest of the cast is doing the most when they all do the most. So
Can
I'm
I?
for me,
Okay,
it's
Prophet.
accountability.
Not
Sis,
Prophet.
I have a
accountability.
question.
Okay.
I got a question
Oh,
real
sorry.
quick,
Did I
Prophet.
just interrupt somebody?
I just wanted to
I'll
add
wait.
something
I'll wait.
on to the as we were talking about the first question. I feel like people, and I mean, I'm not talking about the people up here because I feel like we've all probably learned this lesson in life, and we're probably all told this by our parents. I think a lot of people who watch these shows, who are on the internet, for some reason, they have yet to learn that not everybody is going to like you. And in the sense of, it's not because of what you look like, it's not your sexual orientation, it's not, anything that has to do with you. Personally, some people just don't like you because they don't like you. And then when you get into the personal stuff, most of the time it's because your energy and their energy doesn't match. And I'm a person, if I like to wait and see like what the situation is going to be. So if your energy and my energy are conflicting, then I'm going to be like, you know what, I'm good. But if I don't like your personality, then I don't like your personality, and I can keep it as that. But for some reason, people don't understand. Not everyone in this world is going to like you, and that is okay. Most of the time, I want to say like 95% of the time, it has nothing to do with what you look like. It's just, you know, they don't like you. And for some reason, sometimes
Right.
when it comes down to all these housewives, and I have something about the aggressive thing too, when it comes down to all of these housewives, it's like, you don't like them because of this, or you don't like them because of that. And it's just like, well, I don't like them because of this character that they're showing me, or the words that are coming out of their mouths. Like, people cannot like you just based off of how reckless your mouth is, and it could be just that. And when it comes to this aggressive thing, okay, I want to use Rusty Metal's husband as an example. When he
Oh,
stood up at that table and start cussing at them women, talk about, y'all gonna leave my wife the F alone, and then Candy on the speak on
oh,
it said,
forehead. Okay.
then Candy on the speak on it said he even went after production because he felt like it was a setup. When Kenya said he was being aggressive, and she by Alibaba took that back to Rusty Metal
Ali,
and
she.
said she called your husband aggressive. And then Rusty Meadows was like, oh my God, he's a black man. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Trying to basically bait us into wanting to defend him. And it's just like, no, he was aggressive because you stood up in a situation where no one was addressing you. No one was talking to you. They was tag teaming your wife. And because y'all have been waiting to get on this show for so long, y'all should have been watched it and knew a tag team situation was always going to happen. And yes, he was being aggressive. And
Exactly.
yes, he was
And it
being
was.
aggressive. And yes, he
Back.
was being aggressive
And
with production.
but Marlo had a problem with Todd cursing at her though.
But here's the thing with that.
Hmm.
And
Todd
then.
said, next time y'all decide to go at each other, can you leave me the F out of it? Because he brought
Exactly.
into it. There's a
That's true.
difference between, I'm
Exactly.
about to stand up and come at you because I want to defend somebody, versus you done brought me in it. So now I
For
got to
no
let you know
reason.
who I am, what I did, and what information I have on you. And if you want to continue this route, we can go there. But since y'all done kissed and made up, next time leave me out of it.
Right. And then the funny thing is, Ross was quiet the whole season. He didn't
And
say
then this popped up at the
anything.
last second.
I'm like, oh my
You're not gonna
God.
be talking to my fucking wife like that,
Yeah.
boy. If you don't sit down and
In the
just
word,
Because
in
be
the word,
pretty,
in the words of Kenya Moore, the mute wants to talk now. The
the
mute wants
mute
to
wants to
wants to
talk.
talk.
Can I
The
can
Exactly.
I
mute wants
jump
to
in really
talk.
quick?
Like,
Can I jump in really quick? I want to pivot.
go ahead.
I
Uh huh.
think that regardless of the context, like, don't get me wrong, like, everybody's saying some good stuff and it's a lot of context involved, but I think regardless of the context, well, we all have to acknowledge, regardless of what or who, certain things, certain words are rooted in racism. You
Yeah.
cannot
yes.
compare a
That's
black
true.
person to
Yes.
any animal
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and say, "Oh
Mm-mm.
no, I didn't
Evelyn
mean it to be
Lozano.
racist." No, that is rooted in racism. That's like saying blackface is not racist. It is racist. This at its core, it's rooted in racism. So, like I said, just to pivot back to the show, Wendy's first season when her and Ashley got into it and they sat at that dinner table and Ashley said, "You were being so aggressive, almost animalistic."
Ferocious.
Ugh.
Yeah, ferocious. Thank you. Ferocious. Like a lion, like a wild animal. You cannot
Right.
tell a black person that, especially sitting at that table as a biracial woman with a white husband, that a black woman arguing with you. And then again in that moment, her and Ashley were both giving as good as they got. It wasn't just like I
Exactly.
said, Ashley some delicate flower. You were arguing, you were going back and forth with Wendy. You weren't some victim. Why is it that
Nope.
she was being ferocious? That is rooted in racism. There's no context to explain that away. And now, to your point, Scotty,
Now,
about the comment
whose
That's the
section.
actions is
bad.
that?
No, it's not me.
Okay, I want to
I
add.
think it's
Oh,
Can I?
In terms of the YouTube comment, Scotty,
Nikki.
I
Your
feel
chips are loud.
can I ask a question?
yeah, go ahead.
So it's good that you made that point because okay, in season 6 when they went to Williamsburg or whatever, wherever Wendy's trip was. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what did you guys think of when Candiace said that Michael was an overseer and how he drives his slaves thing? Well, how did you guys feel about
Ooh.
that? Because in my opinion, I was like, because I'm not gonna lie, I like I said, how everyone said here, when it's not always about what they look like; it's about how your personality was. As much as I sometimes cannot stand Wendy and Candiace, I can still give them props. I can still say
Mm-hmm.
Wendy's a beautiful, gorgeous woman. She knows how to read, and she's very articulate, and she's very smart. And Candiace knows how to stand up for themselves. But also, when Candiace said the season 6 reunion, oh, I didn't say Michael was an overseer. I didn't say she was a slave driver. You kind of did, sis. You said he was.
Yeah, she
like
made
And
a
then
lot of slave
everybody wanted to
references in
get
terms
into
of
the
Ashley and Michael.
technicality of it. It
Yeah.
was like, girl,
Yeah, because she didn't say
like,
that verbatim,
yeah.
Right.
but
And
they
I'm
made it
like,
a
you
She just
knew
technicality
called
what
him
you
an
were
because
saying.
overseer.
Like,
the
don't try to
wording that
downplay.
Ashley used was different from what Candace said. She made it even
Right.
more broad. Like
Racist.
she,
But the oh
yeah,
sorry. But then the funny
But my
thing
thing is
oh
like, don't try to play on our intelligence when
right.
we knew what the hell you was meaning, girl. And I want to answer Gabor's. Hey, Gabor. I want to answer his question because he brought up a good question, and it was, I think something along the lines of like, if it wasn't for Twitter, would colorism be a thing on this show? And that, to his point, yes, I think it would be a colorism thing. I think we would
it'll still be
definitely
there.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we would definitely
But,
see it, but I don't think
but
We
it
it
just
would
want to have
be
wasn't.
a
as
platform
But
to
big
it
talk
of a
wasn't.
about
It
it.
thing.
wasn't the audience. It wasn't the audience that brought up the colors. The colorism. Sorry, it was Wednesday. It was Wendy. The audience wasn't seeing this colorism
Right, but
until
she
Wendy.
brought
This
it
was a
up on
conversation
Twitter.
Wendy
No,
No,
and
it's been a
Candace
the
had.
conversation
audience
for a
brought it
while.
up
I
one at a
feel
Especially
like
time.
I
Wendy.
feel
One
like
at
it
a
wasn't.
time.
It hasn't been as it
The
hasn't been
audience
as
did.
it hasn't been as
Talked
big or
about.
broad
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah,
because since because Wendy was brought it up to the TV and made it even more wider of a conversation. But it's always been talked about because it's always
right.
been there. There's
Since
always
season
every
2.
season
Right.
you
Since
always
season
have
2 when Monique came
Ashley.
on.
Yeah, you
But
always
we
have Ashley
we
Giselle
also
them do something, but they'll be forgiven. And if somebody do something to them, they'll be right there to my. You need to
but
apologize to me right now,
yeah,
Right.
Right,
but
and
we
I
also
and
have
agree
never
to
with
I
apologize.
think there
that.
remember
still would be.
we
There
also
still would
have to
be a
remember that
conversation.
and oh sorry, we also have to remember that Andy asked the question at the reunion, right? He
That's
asked the
he
Exactly.
did
fan
say that.
question,
Exactly.
right? And we also have to remember colorism, it's a comparative tool, right? So in order for us to talk about it, we need examples of lighter skinned people doing the
Right.
same
Exactly.
thing. So when it came
Exactly.
to
Ashley
if people
Darby and that
oh what's
disgusting
that?
husband.
Sorry,
Some
but
sister
Fish
back.
and chips,
if
child.
people were mad at Mia when the trailer dropped, Wendy wouldn't have tweeted that. We have to
She
remember
would not
that. Like if
have.
people exactly.
Exactly.
So
Well,
that's the problem. If people you can be mad at Candiace, you can be
right.
mad at Wendy, but if you're not giving that same energy to Mia when she's clearly throwing a drink at somebody, then we have to talk about it.
Right, and
That's
that's
it.
and
Because
that
I think people forget. I think when before, I don't think people thought it was Candace. Candace that threw that glass. I think it was Wendy because there was a broken glass in that video.
They
Somebody
think
had broken a glass
and
I
that
know
that
when it was
in that
reported,
video.
everybody was saying in the comments,
Yeah.
"I bet it was Candace. I
yeah.
bet you it was Candace."
yeah.
But then a day
Because
later, they were like, "Candace wasn't even there." She just got
But
there just today.
And then they went
And
on
then
Wendy.
to the
Why would
point that
Wendy
people
bring
and then
it
they
up
went right on went to
and
Wendy.
on this?
I just have
yes, but I
one.
think that to ranting it with Ricardo's point is that because people just don't like Candiace. I don't
Yep.
not like the girl because she's dark skinned. I think she's beautiful. I think Wendy is beautiful, but they annoy me on my television when I am watching them sometimes.
But my
And
thing
I
is they
get
do the same
Okay,
thing
frustrated
but
everybody
with
else
that.
does.
My thing
Listen,
is
Everybody on the
this.
cast does the
they
same
do the
thing those
same
two do.
thing. So that's what
right,
I don't
they
understand.
all
How is it
annoy me.
likability?
They
So
What
they
is
all
all
there
should
to
be
annoy
like
me.
about
annoyed. So they
Robin?
all should be
What is
called
there
out.
like? What is there
Exactly.
to like about
To
Giselle?
me,
What is
that
there to
they
like
are.
about Ashley that you can't like about Wendy or Candiace?
Okay, it goes like this. Okay. And then after I say this, we're gonna go into my last question. Then we're gonna end the child because every time I say I'm gonna be on here for a specific amount of time, child, I lie. Anyway, um, they're just like on Love and Hip Hop.
Oh,
For example, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, for instance,
okay.
you
Mm-hmm.
got K Michelle and you
Mm-hmm.
got Jocelyn. People hated K Michelle just for her one liners and the way she acted, but used to praise Jocelyn for
Oh,
running
I never
across
got
the
Her
that.
stage.
nasty ass mouth.
Yeah,
Money
running
machine.
across the
Cocaine is
stage,
so annoying.
attacking everybody, making up lies about kids, all types
Mm-hmm.
of shit.
Right.
But K Michelle can throw a candle, they mad. K Michelle hit somebody with some flowers, they mad. K Michelle say Kirk can get 3 earrings and all these damn, one liners she got. But
I love
Jocelyn
K
Mm-hmm.
has
Michelle.
done way worse than K
Way
Michelle.
worse.
But yeah, K Michelle is the most hated, but everybody props Jocelyn up to be
Exactly.
queen.
Oh,
Like I say,
oh,
even if you don't like them, you can still give them their credit and see the wrongs and the differences that happen.
Exactly.
But
So so
that's just like even in the beginning of season 5, everyone thought that even though I can't stand Candice, even though everyone thought that Candice threw the drink in Monique's face, and they thought that's what started the fight. But we all
Because
saw that
Monique
Monique,
spent that
right,
narrative
right,
for an
because
yeah, I
entire
know, and
year.
Monique spent the narrative
Paid
for a whole
bloggers.
year, right?
Played bloggers
Oh
for a
my
whole
god.
year.
And it's
Lord
not,
have
and
mercy.
Oh
that's
Lord, y'all, please don't say she
we
paid
not.
bloggers
We
because
not.
no,
they tried to say she
because
paid
I
me.
always
They
tell
know
You know
she
they,
people,
paid them.
no, but
they
listen,
tried to say she paid me, child, and I ain't never got
Who?
a
and
cash
I
app
think,
or a
and I
PayPal or
think that's
nothing from
the,
her.
my
and
thing
that,
is
oh,
when it comes to certain things, and I'ma just say this. Um, Everybody who watched the show, these shows aren't open minded. And that's
Mm-mm.
across the board. Like me. I cannot like
I agree.
somebody, but at the moment in when they are right about that situation,
I could
regardless
say
of
that
whether I
right.
like them
yeah, I
or
can
not,
say it too.
I can say they are right. But you have some people who will completely
Go to
dismiss
the
the
end.
fact that this person is right about this particular situation because they hate them. You either like them
Mm.
or you hate them. And some people are so clouded by their hate or their like because you have people who like somebody so much that they will not admit when they
To
are wrong.
nothing they
So
do.
to me,
Agreed.
that's
Exactly.
not a colorist issue. That's a person who just can't be real issue. That's a
Mm-mm.
favoritism issue. And a lot of
That can't
fans
be unbiased
bring
at all.
that
Nope.
favoritism to these shows. But when it comes to the colorist thing, look at all the stuff we saw Ashley husband do,
Oh,
right?
don't even, I
All
was
the
about to say,
and
I was
he's
just about
still
to
on
say
the
that.
show.
I was just about to
All
say
the
Still
that.
on the
things
show.
we saw
I
him do,
was just
down
about to
to
say
Disgusting.
that.
Like
assaulting and
any other
putting his
husband, let a
hand.
black husband
Because,
do that, they
Well,
would have got
exactly.
fired
wait,
Exactly.
immediately.
wait.
Let her speak.
When it came to Chris being upset about the rumors that was put out that his child is not being his child, it was, oh, Chris was this horrible man, and all of a sudden, out of Gizzard's mouth, right? Oh, Michael was a wonderful person. He never
Mhm.
did
Not that so.
anything wrong,
Nasty. Yeah.
right?
Mm.
So
You preaching tonight.
even in that instance, it is a difference. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where fans get the colorism issue from. If I don't like you, I don't like you. Do I think Monique should have put her hands on Ashley? No. Am I a realist in the point where some people get to the point where they are not going to keep going back and forth to you? They're going to run in your shit? Yes. And to me, that is what
Period.
happened.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing more, nothing less. I don't think it was a colorist issue
I think she just got
between
her ass beat.
them. Her
No,
mouth,
that's a lie.
her mouth did not stand up. Well, her hands did not stand up to what her mouth does,
I
right?
disagree.
I don't
But what
think
did
I
she
don't think
say that warranted
She didn't
some?
say
I
nothing
mean,
that
listen,
night.
we doing
I
it
I
mean,
could
anyway.
list you
It doesn't
everything she
matter.
said that night.
listen,
She said,
It
"I'm
doesn't
sleep."
matter, y'all.
We doing
She
it
listen.
said, "I
tonight.
love you all." She didn't say nothing.
No, I'm saying over the course of time. Me personally, I feel like Candiace responds and they get mad at Candiace because her response is quicker and she's better at it. I'm not a Candiace hater. I'm not a Monique hater. You know what I'm saying?
Go
That's
ahead,
just how I
Scotty.
feel. She responds, or sometimes she come after. I think all of these ladies do it. I think they all do it. I just think it's taken overboard for some more than others when they all equally say the same thing, say worse, say
Mm.
horrible things.
Well, this is what I'm gonna say. I still ain't got to my question yet, but I'm gonna get to it in a minute.
I'm
This
sorry,
is what
Scotty.
I'm
I ain't
gonna
gonna say
say.
I'm
nothing else.
sorry.
This is what I'm gonna say. When I say this, some people get upset, but I'm gonna say it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people are allowed to say whatever the fuck they want to say.
I
You
agree.
know. However, my thing is this right here. I don't think that in an argument between Candice and Monique with the fight, I don't think she said anything disparaging that warranted like a
She
complete
didn't say
attack.
nothing.
But what I will say is this right here. As a person who has a mouth and as a
Mm-hmm.
person that doesn't want to fight all the time, if I don't want to fight somebody, if I don't want to get into no physical altercation, I'm not gonna ask nobody if they're gonna drag me. And I'm not. And then if they say, "Do you want me to?" I'm not gonna sit up there and say, "Well, drag me then, drag me then, drag me then." I'm not gonna say that. Why? Due to the fact this is the same person who threatened to drag your ass while she was barefoot and pregnant.
True.
So
Last
if she's
Mm.
going to
yes.
threaten to drag you while she pregnant, what the hell do you think
What
she
do
gonna
you
do?
think is gonna
She ain't
happen,
I
pregnant.
feel
girl?
like
That's
don't
what
Well,
engage
right.
her.
I
Well, the
think.
thing
So
My.
is,
so I'm
the
not
thing.
saying that that warrants her putting her hands on her, but what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is,
Don't
if
engage.
I know I don't want to fight nobody, I
I'm
am
Mhm.
not
not gonna
gonna dare
engage.
nobody
Right.
to
I'm
put
not
their hands
My
right.
on
thing
me.
is, I
But we
think
have
real
to
life is
remember.
different
If I
from
can
this
just
show.
say, oh, oh, sorry. Oh, if I can just say, we have to remember we're not in the real world. We're in Bravo's
Exactly.
world,
This is a
right?
show.
This is exactly. This is a TV
You're
show.
supposed to
Okay.
argue and shade.
Right. And in the real world, let's be very clear. Monique wouldn't have even been at that winery, right? Because they were there to celebrate Giselle. So that
Exactly.
whole scenario wouldn't have even existed outside of the show. You have
I mean, I
cameras,
get.
you have producers, you have like
It
you
was an
can't be on a show where the point is to argue and then say, "Well, you said something I don't like, so I'm going to hit you now." Then you shouldn't be
can,
on reality TV then.
But
can I add
see,
Mm-hmm.
I
something?
get what y'all saying with that because it's a a quote unquote job. But I mean, things happen even at work. Like you never know, anything could happen at some point. People lose their cool no matter where they are, and they may put their hands on you. So that's why I'm always.
May I add to
Absolutely,
that?
absolutely. But if you're
That's my
not
whole
fighting the
point.
woman that's talking about your child, you shouldn't be fighting anybody.
May
That's
I
my only
Exactly.
thing.
I mean,
may
When
I
I
You
add
know.
listen,
something?
yeah, I would have ran in her
listen,
mouth.
listen. I agree with
May I?
all that. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying just because someone tells you to drag them, that means you're supposed to do it. What I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
is, you can never underestimate the person that you're up against.
That's
May
true.
I?
So that's all I'm saying. I'm never gonna tell nobody what drag. If a person threatened to slap the shit out of me, and if I turn around and say, "Well, slap the shit out of me," then do what you say you're gonna do. Slap me, then they slap me. Then I feel like okay, I asked for it.
May
So
I add something to this?
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that y'all say, "Oh, so I think it was Brittany that says we have to remember that this isn't real life. This is Bravo Land and Bravo Land, and it's not just like the housewives or you have black housewives. It's across all of them. There are instances like, but they have different terminology for it. So yes, Monique, pregnant and all, barefoot and pregnant, with a big old belly with a plate that was sitting on that stomach, said, "I will drag you pregnant and all." And Candiace retorted with, "Then drag me, Monique. Then drag me." And she did. And it took a whole, what, year later for that to happen? But that was just like a build up of everything that had been going on. And I never agreed with her putting her hands on that lady because the person who really like didn't deserve like it,
Yeah,
like not
Giselle
physical
deserved it.
violence, but the person who had it coming, if it was going to be a verbal altercation, which is what it started out as, was the person who ended up pushing you, which then caused the swinging and everything that happened was Satan's mistress. I'm not calling that lady by her name because I don't like her. But y'all
Gizzard.
can't say,
Gizzard.
Gizzard.
but y'all can't say that. Oh, we've only seen it on this show because all the other Bravo shows.
Oh,
Have
Teresa
Y'all,
have.
Giudice is horrible. In Jersey, Teresa is horrible.
Yes.
and
Shit.
Ramona Singer, racist. Don't.
on all
Oh.
the other Bravo shows, there has been like I made a whole list when and it's on my Twitter. I made a whole list and it was like, oh, we've never seen this level of violence before, and I'm like, y'all have it. Well, let me run this down from
Well,
Vanderpump Rules to down to
Well,
Portia, PPP,
no,
Project
not even
all
Pitchfork.
that.
well, no, all
Not
Portia did was pull her
no,
hair,
not
and
even
that
that.
one kick Cynthia did.
Not even that.
This is the
Not
first time we
even
saw hands swinging,
no,
fighting
not
like
even
that.
that. There's
When
like
she chased that girl down in the alleyway at the party.
We barely saw
no,
that.
it
All she did
wasn't
was
Y'all
have
was
that girl
forgot
hair.
blood,
it
sweat, and
wasn't even
heels.
just them trying to blame it on the Black Bravo shows. It was just like, oh, we've never like in a whole entire thing, we've never seen this on Bravo. So
Y'all forgot blood, sweat, and
when
heels.
I made down
I don't know what that is.
when I made an entire list of every single time there has been drink throwing, slapping, arguing,
I mean,
fighting,
that's normal though.
fighting. No, and I'm saying physical fighting is not just a thing of, this isn't the real world. This is the real world. And most of the time for some of these shows, because all of these shows, this is a job. Some of y'all
Mm-hmm.
aren't friends in real life. Y'all are acquaintances. Y'all are co-workers. When it comes to not filming the show, y'all wouldn't have to be around each other unless it was something you had to do for press. Because in everyday life, you not my cup of tea, so I wouldn't hang out with you. But when they were talking about, oh my God, I've never seen it get to this point, and I ran down that list, I said, now see all these people? Because Teresa was flipping tables, and
right.
Jackie's daughter was ripping out Danielle's extensions. And years later,
Mm,
Danielle's husband got pushed in a pool, and she then dragged somebody the same way she got dragged when her extensions got pulled.
throwing glad.
People are throwing glasses, people are slapping people, talking about mental health, talking about everything. And it's just like, hold everybody accountable. You just can't hold this
Right.
particular show and these particular people accountable for the things that is said. Bravo fans, regular fans of the show, and just people who are randomly come across it, because I see a lot of the issues and the people, spewing hate towards these women on the show. Particularly, I don't care about Rick James. I don't care about Satan's mistress. I don't care what you say to them. I really don't. And then
Not Rick James.
I don't particularly like grandmother of the bride. That's Sharice, because she looked like what a grandmother of the bride in that
My
little
grandmother.
outfit she had on. I don't particularly
Yeah.
like these women, but when the hate starts getting spewed, it's mostly coming from people who don't watch the show and have only seen clips of it, and they've picked from the clips they fan favorites already. And it's just like,
That's true. Yeah.
you don't know what's going
And
on to comment on this, and then the hate you were spewing, saying, "Oh my God, this is so wrong. They should be fired." And it's just like, well, then y'all got to look at everybody, because they be
well,
down there scamming, slapping, throwing stuff, threatening to cut people, threatening to send the feds on people, and some more. And this is the worst y'all seen.
right,
Quit
and I
playing
and
with us.
right. And I sorry, Scott. I just want to say this. That's how I felt about like the season 5 reunion, because when Andy was like, "We don't condone violence on this show," do you not know how many other franchises, other
Teresa pushed
people,
him.
right, put your hands on the boss, the boss,
Teresa
and
pushed him to get to
right,
Danielle.
right, and then the thing is that's the thing that people, in the words of also Wendy Osefo, light your ass up. That's why Andy got lit up the way he did, because it's the fact that you're making this situation blown out of proportion. Yes, it was wrong and all that, but there's been so many other franchises who have done this in 10 times
Tracy
worse.
said it in the chat. The pillow party. We forgot Candiace.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
will drag
yeah.
you in this bitch. And all the
Scotty,
fighting that was going on.
Scotty, I
Mm-hmm.
have a question.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
well, I feel like we had talked in circles about this, but I feel like we never really did answer the question you were speaking to, and then I'm seeing really be in the chat. Um, I have a follow-up question to your question. So, in terms of how we as viewers and subscribers respond to YouTubers and their commentary on the show, quite a few of you across the board have spoke, not just even in this franchise, just across the board, how these quote unquote fandoms get really wound up about their faves on these shows and how they aren't open to criticism. And
Mm-hmm.
in terms of this show and the issue that lingers in the background, that is colorism, what is and is not acceptable in terms of like giving an honest opinion of your thoughts on the show. My question to you is, and then also too, I just want to pass the mic to everybody in terms of this, like as viewers, how do we respond? How we respond to YouTubers when they voice their opinions? What is and is not, like I said, in their opinion, not rooted in colorism, not rooted in racism. Um, I would like to question if you, Scotty, believe that for some people there may be a level of sensitivity to criticism to your videos, or if it really is just unfair criticism of your videos. But I think when it comes down to the commentary, when people disagree, you just have to ask yourself. I think that's across the board. You have to ask yourself, is this really my opinion because that's just how I feel? Or do I have a skewed perception of this person or this behavior because I may subscribe to colorist ideas? Because racism and colorism can be internalized. We are taught it from a very early age and we don't even recognize it. So, I'm like that. I question everything I do because I want to be the best version of myself. But I'm challenging everybody else to do the same. But my question again, Scotty, is do you think it's like a slight level of sensitivity? Because it could be on some Erykah Badu. I'm an artist, I'm sensitive about my shit. Or do you think the criticism is unfair?
Can I?
Huh?
Oh, I just wanted to add something, but you can speak. Sorry.
Okay. Here's my thing with that. I think that when it comes to Potomac, it is unfair because I feel like I give everybody. Yes, you can answer really be. You are a content creator, so you should be able to
Right.
get up here.
Yeah, I want to hear her answer too. So
Yeah, you can come up here now.
Me
It's
too.
2 open spaces, so you can come up. Um, I think that it is unfair because I feel like I give everybody the business on the show. It may be some people that I may like more than others, but I'm gonna stand with them if they're right, and I'm not gonna stand with them if they're wrong. I think that with this show, I have gotten the worst backlash in the world, which I've never ever seen that until season 5 of Potomac. Like it was the worst I ever seen. Like I have never been accused of being colorist. I have never been accused of being
Right.
a woman hater or hating my mom and all this other stuff. Like I had never been accused of any of those things, or even with the nicknames that I give people. I didn't always remember a scholar's name, so I called her Alaska because I thought it was funny. But I call her Alaska. Now I'm accused of being xenophobic, and I didn't even know what the fuck that meant. So it's kind of like, okay, can I? Do I have to alter my personality? Do I have to sugarcoat certain things that I say now? There's certain words that I can't use. Like the word bitch used to just fly off my tongue. Bitch,
it
bitch,
did.
Same. Same.
it,
True.
It's
it
my
used
favorite
to
word.
fly off my tongue because that's a word that I use in my daily life, and it's like a term of endearment. Like if I'm calling someone a bitch, it don't mean that I mean it in the worst way. Like, oh
Right.
hey bitch, oh
It it depends on the
bitch is a
tone.
it's a person, place, or thing for me.
It depends on the tone.
But
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
all
but
it's the tone of how you say it.
yeah, but if I'm doing it because in the past, because Too Feisty has been with me for the longest, I say bitch all the time. Everybody will say no one can say bitch like Scotty.
Nobody.
Like I say it hard, like that's
Mm-hmm.
what it is. But now I have to draw back on saying it. I can't say bitch because I hate women if I say bitch. I can't say hoes anymore because I hate women if I say that. Like I have to now pull back on some of the things that I say now because people are going to take it personal. They're going to get real mad if I say it. And it's like now, especially with Potomac, I feel like I can't necessarily be myself or say the things that I would normally say because it's going to offend somebody. So now I have to be cognizant of the way I come across, especially now, being that my audience is full of women, like my chat is full of women. There's a few males in there, but the mass majority are women. And I don't want to come across like I hate women because most of my friends are women. Everybody knows I love my fucking mama to death. So it's like, you know, what do you do in this situation? So
That's true.
Can I
it'd be
add something?
Yeah.
And I don't want to like sound, I don't know how it's gonna come off, but if it comes off any type of way, I don't mean it. I think we're not there yet with the colorism conversation in the Black community yet. So I don't feel like everyone's knowledge on the topic is the same.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like with racism. Like it's so easy for us to point out when somebody's being racist, but it's really difficult to point out colorism. Especially when you're not the target of colorism.
Yeah.
Right? So when it's brought up, it sounds like you're being sensitive. You know, I have to mind what I say and all this stuff. And I'm not saying this like, you know, towards you, Scotty, but I'm just saying in general, right? And it sounds like the responses sound like what a white person would say when you're accusing them of being racist, right?
I'm not racist. I have Black friends.
Yeah,
I'm not
Right,
racist.
that's
I'm
what it says.
black. I'm
Or
just
my
light
daughter
skinned.
is my daughter is dark skinned.
My family's black.
My
daughter is
mom
dark
is
skinned. I
dark
can't be
skinned.
racist.
I mean, I get that.
I can't
but
be a colorist because
I mean,
that's what people were saying. Giselle has dark skinned daughters, so she can't be a colorist.
but I can only speak for me, and I know that I'm not a colorist, and I know
I
that I
know,
don't
but I
hate
think
women. Like,
I think
mean,
maybe
what do
just
I?
like what you said, right? You said you didn't really know what colorism was until Basketball Wives. So I
Yeah.
think maybe some of the like language that, you know, that people who like are knowledgeable, you know, are more knowledgeable about colorism or who have been more effective would know the type of verbiage that isn't acceptable. You know, and sometimes when you like, if you voice it, it comes off like, you know, you're trying to restrict what I say, but, and sometimes it, you know, it could be that, but I think, yeah, I don't think the knowledge surrounding colorism and like the conversation around colorism is
appropriate.
there yet. It's not there yet. Like we're not there yet. Because even if you look at what happened with OG, and it was clear as day, right?
People still don't believe it.
To a lot of us, they still don't believe it.
But also, if people are moved to be so angry, you could also just not watch, you know, because with Scotty, I think you're an equal opportunist. That's why I love your platform. You're fair. And if people are getting so mad at you to the point where they're saying horrible things, they have a choice. Just don't watch your channel. They should just leave you alone because you're a person and you're trying.
And let me just say this before I let Really B speak, because she just got up here. Let me just say this too. When people, and that's why I decided to take the approach, like if you see my community post, that's why I decided to take the approach that I decided to take this season with Potomac and Love and Marriage Huntsville. But this is what I'm gonna say. When people come at you about stuff, and I'm talking about me or Really be as content creators, when they come at us and they say things like that and we get offended, then it's you're too sensitive. You should be open to criticism. I'm open to criticism, but nobody wants to be labeled a colorist, or no one wants to be labeled as a woman hater. Nobody wants to be, because when I critique somebody, it ain't got a damn thing to do with their damn shade of color. I can give a damn about you being brown, light, dark, anything like that. Hell, But
I
if I turn around and I say, well, most of the guys that I dated are dark skinned guys, and if you say that, then it's the same. It's in the same realm of, well, I'm white and I got a black husband, so you can't say that either because they're gonna think that you're doing it. So it's like I really can't win if I try to defend
That's
myself.
true.
So it's like at this particular point, it's like I'm just gonna ignore it. Like I ain't finna sit up here and allow people to get me because it was to the point to where like that shit was fucking with me during season 5. People calling me a colorist because I don't like Wendy at that moment, so I'm a colorist. Or if I say this, if I say that, you a woman hater and all this other stuff. Nobody wants to be labeled as that, especially someone who genuinely loves women and the women that's in their lives. Nobody wants to,
may I
you
say
know.
something before Really Be TV starts to speak?
Oh, and I want to say something after when you go too.
So in a sense of people, especially during the calling out of Wendy and everything, because people didn't truly know what colorism was before. Like I had heard a little bit of it, but because I grew up with, like, I'm a brown skinned girl, but my grandmother and my aunts, and I mean like both grandmothers, all aunts, are dark skinned women. I grew up knowing that they dark skin is beautiful, so I never saw an issue with it. But as we get into these times where times is changing and people are really starting to speak on this stuff, like the word narcissism or narcissist, it's a word that people have just started to learn what it means and is, and then they tend to just throw it out on people like, you're a narcissist because you did this, you're a narcissist because you did that. It's the same with colorism. Most of them don't even know what the word means. They don't even know the meaning behind it, haven't took the time to actually learn about anything going on, but because they feel like it fits the situation, they're just going to throw it out there. Oh, you're a woman hater. Y'all don't know a true woman hater until you've watched a few of these shows
True.
and seen how these men treat these women. Y'all don't know women haters like that. Scotty is not a woman hater. We all know that, especially in the way he talks about his mama. You can tell that he loves that lady,
All right.
loves her to his core. He loves that lady. And I'm talking about the Mimi when she hit to my core. Love that lady. But you don't know a true woman hater. But because it's such this word, and it's just like, oh my God, it's like, oh, you're a woman hater, or you're this, or you're this. They have these words now that they could just throw out on people because they have yet to go take the time to actually figure out what it means. It's a whole bunch of people telling y'all and giving y'all examples of what colorism, narcissism, oh, women hating, misogyny, and everything else. They got multiple people teaching y'all what these things mean, but y'all refuse to go and do it because it's just like, well, why do I have to learn about it? Because eventually, no matter who you are, you may have a kid, you may adopt a child, you may have a niece or a nephew, you may be in a situation where you're dealing with a narcissist, you may be in a situation, because their favorite word now is gaslighting, you may be
True.
in a situation where you have to deal with someone who's gaslighting you. I was in that situation before, and it wasn't a man, it was a woman, and she was my friend, and at the time I didn't know what that was until later I learned that word and like got examples of what it was, and it was like, oh, that was the situation. Got it. Never want to be in here again. Y'all have yet to do it. And then when y'all are in these situations, it's just like, I'm not in that situation. That's not what's happening. That's not what's going on. But you want to project onto other people. As a content creator myself, it's just like, I let people know I don't know these people. You don't know these people. If you like what I got to say, that's great. If you don't, you could still, like, comment, subscribe. Because I'll take a hate watch because it's gonna give me what I need in my journey to do what I want to do. But if you feel some type of way about what I got to say, go down to the Gmail, make you a Gmail, make you a YouTube channel, get you a mic, get you a camera, and get up here and pop your ish. Because we're not all gonna agree about everything.
That's true. Oh, really? Yeah, really. B can say something. Really, B can say
I can't wait to hear what she got to say.
Yeah, yeah. And
Right.
I want to say something there.
Well, first of all, thank you, Scotty, for letting me come up, and hi to the panel and to the chat. It's been a really good conversation. Even though I disagree with a lot of what's being said, it's being said in an articulate way, and nobody's like arguing and talking over each other. So it's been a really enjoyable panel. As a content creator, I'll speak from that perspective and the question that was asked. And actually, it actually kind of what I was going to say. You kind of just said. I think for me as a content creator, where my frustration comes in is I acknowledge that colorism exists. I get it. It does. It absolutely does exist. Racism exists, like you said, everything, all of the above, it does exist. But sometimes you just don't like somebody because you just don't like them. And what frustrates me is if I don't like somebody, then all of a sudden now I'm a colorist or I'm this or I'm that. If the person that that person, I guess my frustration is, where does the line? So if you dislike someone who's dark skinned, you're automatically a colorist. But if you dislike somebody that's light skinned, that's cool. And I'm not saying to the people on this panel, I'm saying these are the comments that come at us. So when I'm reviewing a show, if I don't like somebody or I have an issue with someone who is a darker skin, then that's what I deal with. Then all of a sudden, oh, you're just a colorist. Oh, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, no, I'm not a colorist. I just don't like that. I didn't like what, like Scotty said, sometimes it's not even a you don't like that person. You don't like what they did. And sometimes you just don't like what somebody does. You know, Wendy got on my nerves first. Again, same thing with Scotty. Wendy got on my nerves the first season because if I had to hear about her having 4 degrees one more goddamn time, and it had nothing to do with her complexion. It didn't even have anything to do with the fact that she had 4 degrees. I think that's admirable. I love the fact that she is successful and that she has those 4 degrees, but she held it over those women's heads. Like I think somebody brought up the conversation earlier between her and Ashley. Yes, Ashley is Ashley. I ain't crazy about Ashley either. But every time she got into an argument, she held that over those women's heads like, I'm better than you because I have 4 degrees. I'm smarter than you because I have 4 degrees. You know what I'm saying? That was her weapon. And so my thing is, so because that bothered me, so that makes me a colorist now. And I'm not saying that to you all. I'm saying in general, that's the frustration. It's like, where's the line of I just don't like this person because of X, Y, and Z. It's not because of the history of colorism. It's just this behavior is not pleasing to my personality. Some of y'all may not know this. Scotty knows this, but my experience with Basketball Wives was the worst experience I have ever had on YouTube. And I have reviewed all kinds of shows on YouTube. But I never liked OG from the beginning. From her first scene on the show, I did not like OG.
Same.
And it wasn't an issue in the beginning. In the beginning, it wasn't a big deal. People were like, oh, you know, they're doing OG bad because she's the new girl. Oh, they da 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 da. And I could give you 20 reasons why I didn't like OG, right?
Mm.
But then it became a colorism thing. And when that became a narrative and that came out and people started speaking on that, all of a sudden, if I could show y'all some of the things people said to me, some of the names people called me, people are calling me a colorist, but then in the next sentence calling me a monkey. Well, the hell? I'm a colorist, but it's okay for you to call me a monkey, though. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like I can't just dislike somebody because I don't like their behavior or I don't like what I see. And again, when I do the same thing with the light skin people on the show, then all of a sudden that's okay. I never get any pushback on that. So now I have to say, okay, so who's really playing the color game? Because when I don't have when I'm out here dragging Giselle, don't nobody have a problem with that. But let me say something about Candiace. Oh my
goodness. That's true.
You know what I mean? We could drag Robin. We've been dragging Robin ass from the beginning of this show. Nobody ever questions that. Nobody ever has an issue with oh, Robin's boring. Oh, her storyline. Oh, this. Oh, that. They call her, you know, they question her sexuality. They have drug Robin from left to right. Ain't nobody had a problem with it. Nobody.
I'm definitely one of those people.
The minute I say something about Wendy, oh my gosh.
I was living for you, Dragon Wendy, because she worked on my last nerve the first season. And I was living, I am one of those people, I was living for you, really, BTV. And Scotty will tell you, on my channel, I am not a capper for nobody. I will drag them all. Period. I don't care. But I've had people tell me, get my life. You need to get a life. You on YouTube dragging these people so you can make your money. Baby, I have a whole job and businesses outside of this. This does not pay the, the bills because my
This is
children
just
like to
fun.
spend money. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying though. And I mean, that's when it's the colorist and
And
the reverse colorism. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, but it's crazy to me
It's
that people can call you names because you don't agree with their opinion or
well,
what their faves do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? As if they're
can
not portraying the same thing that that they're accusing you of doing. That is
Yeah.
crazy to
And
me.
that's
But,
what I'm saying. Like
but
it's and that's
If Wendy cut up, please drag her this season because I will
I
be
mean,
watching it
I
well,
waiting.
don't
But
and I mean,
say
even going back to Wendy's tweet, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna shut up. Even going back to Wendy's tweet, my first reaction when I saw her tweet was, what is she talking about? Because on my timeline, I can't speak for her timeline, and I know her timeline is different because she's on the show and she got way more followers than me. But on my timeline, I saw just as many people dragging Mia when they saw the fact that Mia threw that drink in her face. We even on the panel that night we talked about it, and we talked about
I
how
listened. I listened. Yep, that's
right. We
correct.
talked about Wendy and how we were surprised that Wendy was able to hold herself, and we
Mm.
talked about that because we was like, what the hell, like. Mia throwing drinks, she need her ass weak. Like we had that whole conversation, and then I saw this tweet, and I'm like, "What?" Like I saw just as many people dragging Mia. I really did.
Can I
But
say
anyway, I'm gonna
something?
shut up.
Can I say
go
something
ahead.
real quickly?
What? Hold on. Justin was finna say something. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Well, okay, I want to say this real quick. And really being Scotty, I don't think you two have to change how you guys are, how you guys talk for anybody, just because that is true. That's even happened when Scotty, when you were always reviewing Basketball Wives, and then when people always got
Mm-hmm.
criticized OG for her style, they always like, oh, you just don't like OG because she's darker or anything. No, because
That girl
everyone
could not dress.
right, and that was true.
She
Like
was tacky.
like I said, I'm a real OG fan. I like OG. I like how she got all of them in their place. But I can also point out that things that she was doing and things that she was wearing was not okay. But that doesn't also make you a bad person
Mm.
because even in general, not even just like with racism, it could be with anything. People always criticize me because like I didn't like people that were over the top, and people like you just don't like them because of this. No, I don't like them because of how they act. And like I said, I can't stand Wendy or I can't stand Candiace, but I can also give them their props. That didn't make me a colorist or that didn't make me racist. That didn't make me anything. I just couldn't stand how they acted. Just because you can't stand someone's personality doesn't mean it's because of the color of their skin
Right.
or how they are intentionally. Because I always saw like Really B, Scotty, Color Me Pink, all of them get dragged for like the littlest things, that's the thing for people that I didn't like in season 5 of Potomac is when you cheat, like said, you drag Robin, you can drag Giselle, you can drag Karen, you can drag all them. But when anything you say about Wendy or Candiace, it is multiplied by
Right.
a
You gotta walk on
thousand.
eggshells.
Yeah, and it's like crazy because like you can't say anything. It's like they can get held accountable just like everybody else. Yes, throwing drinks and stuff is wrong, but Wendy, you knew what you signed up for. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
I just want to say this to Andrew Gabor in the chat, who said a lot of viewers just don't like Giselle, which that's his comment. I call her the Satan's mistress
We don't.
I
because
call her Gizzard. Yeah,
because
We
everyone
don't
she's
Gizzard.
like her.
or I call her Gerald, Jeffrey the Draft. She's many names. I don't like that lady.
Oh wow.
Her or her neck.
Because he said that a lot of people don't like her because she's beautiful.
Last lady.
That's just the truth. No, the reason why people don't like Jeffrey the Giraffe is because she's hateful and she's mean and she's bitter.
Bully.
She does not like anybody
Heavy on the bitter.
she doesn't
Bully.
like anyone who does better than her. She
And
decided
Exactly.
from the moment that, and I have to
How many
believe,
marriages
and
does she come for every season?
I don't
Yeah.
want to hear nothing else about this lady. But she decided that Monique was not her cup of tea when Monique had to check her about the fact that, no, ma'am, I have 4 houses. I'm just looking
Her.
for another. She gets upset that people are doing better than her. She feels some type of way about it. So then she has to
Cause she lonely.
every single season. She
Very
has come for
much.
somebody's husband. Every single season.
Because she
Another
can't keep
Marlo.
Chris was
one.
right. This is his turn.
Heavy on the Marlo.
This
And
season
never has a storyline.
never has a story.
Never have a storyline. Not even one.
uses Reynolds Wrap as her bulldog to go at people, and Reynolds Wrap is not that, like, that's not a bulldog. You are not
Well,
that
she
tough. You are not that, bout it, because you're not. You got pressed by somebody using an umbrella. Girl, get out my face.
and then
But nobody dislikes that lady because she's beautiful. Let's be clear. Looks fade, and once looks start to fade,
Ray
Shit
was
ain't even all
right.
that.
Ray was right.
looks tend to fade, and when your looks start to fade, you then hope that you are a good enough person that helps you along for the rest of the life. But she's not a good enough
Mm-hmm.
person. She's mean, she's bitter,
Cause she's an
she's
She's
Evelyn.
messy,
ugly on the
lonely.
inside. It don't even
Yeah,
matter.
she's ugly
She's an
on the
Evelyn.
inside, and that ugly on the inside tends to start to protrude on the outside.
Even Evelyn
That
wasn't
is
that
why
bad.
no
I could at
one
least like
likes
her at
that
some point.
lady. That's why don't nobody like her. Not because she's
I can't even
beautiful. It's
tolerate
because
that.
she's mean, rude,
No.
and nasty. And
Okay, y'all.
So here's a perfect example. And no, I'm not picking on nobody, but here's a perfect example. Somebody in the chat said, "Y'all big mad about her 4 degrees, Lord." You missed everything I said because
I think they trolling.
I complimented her for having 4 degrees. I told you exactly why the 4 degrees irritated me. I told you.
Because
I
I
mean,
Now,
let's
but it's been
let's
removed.
be real. Because before I send it over to Prissy B and Prosperity, because child, now I'm really over time. But before I send it to them, I'm gonna say this: when I first started watching Potomac, when it first aired, because remind you, for those of you who've been watching me from the beginning, I really didn't start trying to review this show until season 4, and I
it
didn't
was
really
stuck
review
up.
it consistently until season 5. When I first started watching Potomac, I was turned the hell off by them because of the constant boasting. Karen, I'm the grand dame and etiquette
Potomac.
this and etiquette that and
Shut
all
up,
this other
Wix.
shit. Like that used to get on my nerves, and that's why I couldn't get into them. All this etiquette talk, etiquette this, etiquette, like all that boasting.
We don't do this. We don't do
Yes, we don't do
that.
this at Potomac. All this other like that they used to irk me. That's why I couldn't really get into it like that. I could not stand it. It was just ignorant to me. I hated it. I don't like people that boast all the time
Oh,
anyway.
and that
So
was the
when
thing
Wendy
about.
was up here talking about I got 4 degrees. No, I got 4 degrees. I'm finna make me a ham and cheese sandwich, but I got 4 degrees. Oh yeah, I got 4 degrees. I got like I
Oh,
got okay, we get it. You
it
got
might be
like
in their contract. I think it's in their contract since
No.
all of them boasted like
I'm
heavy.
about to go follow
yeah,
That's
they
my
all
why I
got on
said
my
it's not a
nerves.
Cause
Potomac
me,
show.
La Cienega did it every single last season, every
No, wait.
episode. I'm a
Wait.
boss. I'm a
Wait. No,
boss.
wait. Who
I'm a
did? Wait.
But
boss.
Wait.
that's
Who?
just them trying to find, that's just them jockeying for their position. You know what I mean?
Z
Yeah,
Z,
that's
you
what they do
really
all on their first season.
hold on,
Who?
y'all. Z, you really just missed the entire point, child. You
Who
said
do you?
But they
exactly. They
trolling, y'all.
all
Come on now.
brag.
They trolling.
Yeah,
Who do
you
you?
gotta be trolling because you missed the entire
There's a couple of
point.
trolls in the comments. You gotta
You missed
ignore
the
My
them.
entire
daddy
point.
Yeah.
When
been doing
I
that
said
all
that's just
night.
No, but that's the point, though. Like you said, I mean, we can ignore the comments, but I think I'm just pointing it out so y'all see what we deal with
yeah, like
when we
like
start
they
getting into
act
our
like they don't hear
conversation.
what we're saying. You know what
Right?
I
You
mean?
could
Like
do
we
a 20
literally
minute
just
rant.
said it.
Yeah, you could do a 20-minute rant on Giselle, like Ricardo just
Go in
did,
on her.
I
and
just said
then
I
you
don't
make
like that
one
lady.
comment about Wendy, and now all of a sudden, y'all hating on Wendy.
Yeah, like
Well,
I literally just set up here just to counter what everybody else been saying. Like everybody tried to make it seem like we was hating on Wendy just because she had 4 degrees.
No.
When I specifically just came up here and said it wasn't just Wendy. I don't like people that boast anyway. I hated it when Karen was saying I'm the grand dame and
right.
all this etiquette talking shit at the beginning of the show. I hated it when they did it. So if I hated it when they did it, I damn sure don't like it
Scott,
when Wendy do.
Scotty is damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, that is the
Well, but
that is the point that really B is saying. We damned if we do, we damned if we don't. We can say the same damn thing over and over again, and people hear exactly what they want. So
But
it just, I
but you know,
literally just said that. But
listen,
then, child,
listen,
Prissy B and Prosperity Child, go ahead, y'all, so I can take a shower and go to bed.
All right, hey Scotty, and hey everyone in the chat, and hey to the
Hey,
rest of the panel.
hello.
Okay, and
Hello.
like just to piggyback off what you said, like Scotty and really B, I think with you guys are I watch you guys a lot along with Terrence, Bondy, and the rest of them. I feel like you guys are really fair in it because I'm the same way. Like I do notice this colorism in the show, even though people don't want to always admit it, and I understand everyone doesn't like Candiace and Wendy, and that's fine. You don't have to like
Mm-hmm.
them. I'm not gonna lie, I like them too, but there are some of their like behaviors or their antics that I don't agree with or don't like as well. But
Agreed.
I do see where they're kind of coming from in a sense. I don't think because some people are like, oh, they're just bringing up colorism for ratings. They're just always bringing up the colorism thing as their go-to and blah 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 blah. I see it from both sides because yes, because sometimes like okay, for instance, not to bring up season 5 or bring up whatever. So some people's thing with Candiace and Monique. Oh, like I seen a comment today. Oh, Candiace provoked Monique. That's why she got drugged. That's why she got hit. Right? Okay, that's some people's
Drag
opinion.
me.
Drag me. Okay, but then in season 3, when Ashley was in Candiace's house talking crap, and Candiace asked her to leave several times, and she didn't. So Candiace threw the knife at her, but didn't. So in that same sense, didn't Ashley provoke Candiace too? But people
They don't talk about that. Nope,
yeah,
they
they don't talk
ignore it.
I
about it.
like we
So
said
They
earlier
deflect
about.
that.
I like earlier said when people said Robin went up, or Robin and Giselle went up to Ashley
Robin
dressed
get him
like
when
Adam.
Robin got him
that's
Monique,
aggressive.
Yeah.
or when Robin got him Monique face. It's
Yeah, that's
ridiculous.
aggressive.
No, that was probably the best scene when Candace was like, "Don't talk about my mother in my home."
Yeah, that
Sometimes
was.
talk
But like I
about what
said,
your
they
mom said.
bypassed what Ashley did, and
Right.
you know,
People love bringing up
Especially
that
her
damn butter
nasty
knife.
husband. Especially her and her nasty husband. I can't
Oh, that
rest.
husband is disgusting.
Ugh.
Gollum,
yeah, I
Gollum,
know, I
Gollum,
know.
my precious.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm trying to make. So it's like, okay, you guys can see, oh, and because you guys, some people don't like Candace, like I said, which is fine. So you guys see her bad behavior, but like with the Ashley or someone else is like graced over.
A
But
lot.
that's the
a
thing.
lot.
So why is it great? Because if you want to say, oh, Candace provoked Monique, well, so Ashley provoked Candace too. That's how I see it. So that's a thing. So I think I do see what they're saying sometimes because I'm like, okay, some people's behaviors get called out. Like in the last reunion, season 6, when she called out all, and I love that she did that. She called everyone out on their behavior because it's like, yeah, she does the most, and she has her ways. She's not always says the best things, but so does everyone on the cast. Everyone can be nasty. Everyone can be mean. But why is it only you guys are only coming at her when all of you guys have done
And
stuff?
And I think the other point where people always make, because I don't agree with this, and I always people be like, it's not mostly Candace what she says, it's mostly how she can never say that she's wrong, or because how people would always
Yeah,
say no,
yeah.
because how people, because I always watch the panel, like when Scotty did the season 5 panel and the thing about over Potomac, where people were like, they both played a part in a fight. People also put everything on the blame of Monique. And yes, Monique was wrong. She did majority of the stuff.
Yeah,
But
because she
people
got
were
physical.
right. And people were always ignoring the things that Candace was doing. And I also agree with that too, because I always say
Wait,
the
what
same
did
thing.
Candace do?
Well, because people would always say
Oh
that.
my god.
Well,
Lord, get back.
people
Y'all
would,
ready to
Oh no.
argue tonight?
Because
Are
they
you
were
gonna drag me,
arguing. She
boo?
said, drag me. Are you going to drag me? But to be honest,
That is the
even with
only
that,
thing.
yeah, to be honest,
She
Candace
also
Knox is
swung it. She
vicious.
also touched that lady too.
No,
yes,
she
that's
did
true.
not
No,
touch
no, no,
her.
no, 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 no.
No, Monique touched
Oh
her
She put
Lord
first.
no,
Jesus.
no.
Oh,
She
y'all
Her
want to
put
hand was
argue
in her
tonight? Y'all
face.
want to
It
argue
was
tonight?
yeah, her hand was in her face and then the flip of the hair.
Okay, but Monique's hand was in her face as well, and
Yeah, they
contact
both.
was initiated by Monique.
We're not doing
I'm
that.
sorry,
We're
Scotty.
not
I'm
doing
sorry,
that.
Scotty.
Scotty is
All
getting
right.
nervous.
I'm
We're
sorry.
not
I'm
doing
sorry,
that.
Scotty.
All right.
We are
All
not
righty
doing this.
then.
Prosperity, your turn.
We are
All
not.
Okay. I
Go
want
ahead,
to I want to
Prosperity.
first with the comment about just because Giselle is cute.
She ready to
I
argue.
think almost every lady on this panel is beautiful. So
Exactly.
what? How does that equate to people not liking her? You act like there's some drag back, dumb, ugly scuttlebutts on the cast. No, her heart is ugly. Her insides are ugly. Her neck is ugly. Her,
Her fashions
her
are
whole
ugly.
people legs are ugly. Like
Her
she
soul.
comes at Karen all the time calling her old. But Karen got the body she's supposed to have.
And do.
Like, what are you talking about? Nobody doesn't like Giselle because of her looks. Giselle doesn't like Giselle. That's why nobody likes Giselle. Point blank, period.
Uh,
And this colorism thing, why is it that people just cannot like somebody on the cast, regardless of the color of their skin, of their melanin? You just don't like somebody. That don't make you a goddamn colorist. It makes you not like somebody.
So for y'all to be putting this on the content creators because they have an opinion about something, but as long as their opinion aligns with your opinion, it's okay. That's not okay. Y'all come on other people's channels to distract from what they doing to get you a little 5 minutes of shine. Go make your own platform if that's the case. You don't come to somebody's house and then wipe your feet on that rug and go right back out the door. That's not what you do. How was y'all raised?
That's true.
They weren't.
It's all about respect in the world. You can't get nowhere without respect. So if you want respect, you got to give it. And coming to somebody's house with the bullcrap ain't it. It's hard enough to get up here and do what we do. For y'all to be, so if you don't like something, cut it off. Don't watch. Or if you're going to watch, either enjoy it or shut the hell up.
And also,
Heard.
let me say this before we go. And I want to know if, because I want to know if really B noticed this before too. Let me just say this.
Oh
What's
Lord.
funny to me is that what was really killing me was during season 5 of Potomac when the whole Monique fight happened, and I constantly said over and over again that Monique was wrong and blah blah blah. I was basically saying that two truths can coexist at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Monique was
Exactly.
wrong. Candiace played a part in some kind of way, but Monique was definitely wrong for putting her hands on her. Like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. What was the killing part to me was when I would look at other content creators' videos and I see these people that was all up under mine, they'll be up under another content creator video popping mad shit about me and other people. Like I saw my
Yeah, I
name
see
in
that.
so
Yeah.
many comment sections but during that time, and it was me, it was Bondi, it was Ashley. They was dragging us on other people's
Mm-hmm.
platforms so
Yep,
many
I see that.
times. But yet come back
That's
to
true.
my platform and say how much they love me, but go to somebody else's platform and drag me for Phil and brag about how they thumbs down my video. Like
That's because they didn't think you was going to be in that chat and they
was
got caught.
crazy. It was so funny.
They don't think
Like,
that other YouTubers support other YouTubers. So
oh
then they'll
yeah,
pop
and that's
over.
another thing that used to get me. Like they used to try to pit us all against each other. Like,
And I watch Scotty a lot, especially when he always did like always you always do the reviews and stuff. And that's the always thing that I would always see a lot is the fact that with Potomac, like I said, Potomac season 5 was probably one of the most, like how you said earlier, like most
Problematic.
chaotic,
Stressful.
problematic, toxic. It's
Stressful.
just stressful.
Oh
It's
Lord,
it's
that was so
it's
horrible.
it was and it was like a how long was that fight? Like a 5 minutes,
It was
three
a
like
five
It
minute
wasn't even
fight,
that
but it was the
five
long.
minute
It
entire
really
fight.
wasn't even
season.
that
2 minute fight.
long.
And then people drag, and I think like, and people always said like when Candace pressed charges and stuff, and that also dragged everything out to probably having a good season because I think people felt like the fight was supposed to happen, it was supposed to be over, and nothing else was supposed to go on, but that fight was literally dragged out the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
oh,
The
and this one is better. Somebody even put in my comment section another content creator's link to their review and said, "Here's a real review of this
Oh no,
show."
Oh
they
wow.
didn't.
I was like,
Can,
Ooh,
Oh,
Those
Scat.
keyboard warriors be doing a lot. They just be learning to argue and talk crap about people.
can
It's
I just
weird.
say
Oh,
something?
buddy, can I comment on the comment?
I want to.
yeah, go ahead.
It's not constructive criticism when the person who house you are in is asking you to stop and you continuously do it. That's not constructive when you're just trying to be all out rude and nasty as all out damn doors. So if that's how you give constructive criticism, please find another way to do so.
Hmm.
Respectfully.
You
But
know
I.
what? I'm
There's
glad Black
nothing wrong
said
with
that too.
disagreeing respectfully and giving your
Yeah.
point of
Yeah,
view.
like
Yeah,
yeah,
I
and I
know
don't
when.
want it to sound like we just. I don't. I'm gonna speak for. I'll speak for Scotty too. I
Yeah.
don't want it to. I don't want y'all to walk away or the people to walk away thinking that we have a problem with criticism because that's not it. That's
Mm-hmm.
really not it. I don't have a problem with criticism, and I can't speak for other content creators as far as calling names and stuff like that. But I
No
don't do
grown adult does it
I don't I
really be.
don't I don't call
Mm-mm.
people out their name on my channel. Like I make up nicknames,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't call people out of their name. And so there's a difference between because trust me, people disagree with me all the time, and I'm okay with that. That's not my issue. My issue, like I said, my those like I have never had to delete comments until Basketball Wives. And the stuff that people said about me, the things that people called me just because I disagree with OG, that
Oh
I
Lord,
mean,
that one.
that's why I stopped doing the show. I
That was
stopped doing Basketball Wives.
problematic too.
The only reason why I started
Yeah.
doing Basketball Wives again is because I sit on the panel with the Whether You Like It or Not panel, and we review it as a panel. But other than that, if I wasn't doing that, I would never touch Basketball Wives again. And I
I
know
don't
for a
blame
lot
you.
of people, it was the same way with Potomac. I know El Teddy got it. I know Scotty got it. I know Terrence got it. It's the same thing. It's
Ooh,
not.
especially Terrence.
It's not just right. It's not just the criticism. It's the
Especially
things that
going on
people
Candiace.
say. Like I said, I was called all kinds of fat monkeys, and I mean,
And you are beautiful, really, B.
That's
well,
Just,
what I know,
unnecessary.
thank you, baby. But it's just some of the like the things that people said, the names that people called me, and it was like, wow, all of this because I don't agree with you, all of this because I don't. And then the people were like, you just oh you just hate her because her melanin and stuff, and I was like, no, because I have the best compliments I gave OG was when she was in her African garb, when she was giving us. I thought she was absolutely gorgeous. But
Mm-hmm.
them wigs were not the answer, and I don't
the
give a damn
That
makeup,
what
the
dress,
makeup,
them
the
wigs were
makeup.
horrible, especially the
yeah, and
makeup.
it didn't have nothing to do with her complexion. It just wasn't good. It just wasn't good.
I'm
And
not even gonna lie to you though. Like season 5 of Potomac, that was probably the first time in my life reviewing shows where I felt like it was mentally draining me. Like I have never gotten that involved with doing a review. I could just do my review, say talk my shit, put them up, and go about my business. But during that time, if you read the comments, they was breaking me down, Lord. Oh my
yeah.
God. Like the stuff people were saying, not only was they saying it on YouTube under my shit, but up under other people's stuff that I respect. But then they'll go to Twitter and do the same damn thing. Then I find myself arguing with folks on Twitter because of the shit that they were saying. But now it's like
Mm.
I can't keep arguing with everybody. Everybody just not gonna see it for what I'm saying. But I just feel like the only time I really need to say something is when it's outright fucking ridiculous. And a lot of the stuff that people say is ridiculous a lot of the times. But during season 5, that was horrible. And
It
even with
was.
Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I told Really B this, we had this conversation. For the first time in my life, I had to turn my comment section off on one of my videos for Love and Marriage Huntsville. I had to turn the comment section completely off because
I
I couldn't
remember
take
that.
another second of reading them fucking comments because they just it's like they
They were hurting.
yeah, like I'm like, do y'all hear what I'm saying, or are y'all hearing what you
Well, it's
wanted?
like even if you tell them,
Some
even
people
if
hear
you,
what they want to hear.
yeah, even if you say your fave is wrong, or even say that, like I say, many of the times, as much as you don't like Candiace or Wendy, as long as even if you call them out 1 little second, it's a problem.
And to
But
this
even with
point,
season 5, like as we've said on this panel before, it wasn't the first fight that we saw. So what is it
Mm-hmm.
about season 5 that just
Right?
made everyone so angry though?
Don't
Do you
know
know what
why.
I mean? Like
Yes, I
why?
agree.
Why this season? Why this fight? Why
I don't
couldn't
I
know.
we
think it
just
was the oh sorry. I think it was the lead up to the season because
Yeah,
the
it's
year
a lot of
before that,
fodder for years.
Monique did a lot of things. Like she
Yeah.
talked about it the entire time.
Yeah.
It was like a build up.
but
Fans
see
are
that,
already having this expectations of what's
but
gonna happen
see,
that
And
but
season.
then
it
the blogs
also
and stuff happened about the drinking
And the
incident and
blogs
Yeah,
stuff
the
added
like
that to
that.
vlogs.
that.
I think
but
it was
but
the
don't you
vlogs.
think people were like projecting? Do you know what I
Yes,
mean? Because the
yes.
narrative, I think
Mm-hmm.
people have probably experienced times when maybe they were ganged up on, maybe they
Yeah.
were left out, so maybe they
Being
kind of
gaslit. Yeah.
projected that,
Cause then,
right. They
and
projected
Candy,
that energy onto Monique, and like it was almost like they were fighting like their high school bullies or something.
I
Like
for
they
me,
transported back to high
for
school and thought that, okay, well, I'm gonna take it out on like Giselle and them or something.
well,
I
then
just don't
even
know
for
why.
me, oh, go ahead. Oh, for me, with that, for me, I can speak for myself. Like, I understand some people snap. Like, I wasn't mad that she had a boiling point and she hit someone, because I myself,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like violence, but I have been there before, right? So I'm not mad that, like, not mad. I mean, yes, you shouldn't have done it, of course. Like, you should try to keep your hands, but people do snap and have their breaking point. I myself have did that, but for me, it was the whole, like, allegedly, I don't know if she really did this or not, but going to certain blogs and switching the narrative to
She
make it
did.
look like in her
She
favor.
did.
You know what I mean? That's what
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't know
like about
that.
it.
She did.
She
That's
did.
why I
But
said
that,
allegedly.
What proof do y'all have that she did that?
It was
Allegedly,
proven.
it was proven
How?
on
When?
different.
What? Where?
It was.
The
I
guy
seen.
that was going after Candiace and Chris
We're
about
going back to
Giselle,
Yeah, he
he
did
had a
an
2010.
relationship
interview
with
and
her brother.
said
He had a
that.
relationship with her brother.
Yes,
Exactly.
But
they
it
but
were
was
that's
meeting in.
also because she didn't go after Giselle and them, and that's who we really wanted her to go after. So people were mad at that
Yeah,
also.
that too, because
and
Giselle
then
was the
and then
one
and then
really
what and then what
doing that
actually
Who
paternity
started that
stuff.
rumor? Like it was
well
weird.
and then what made it worse was like when people always said that when people got on Monique and then the reunion happened, then Andy didn't go as hard on Candiace and hold her accountable, and then everyone was always mad at Monique, and that also was a build up when other people got mad because they're like, well, wait a minute, we get that Monique this and this and this and this, but what about Candiace's part in it? You know, people were just always going back and forth, so that was also a build up when it happened.
Can I?
Yeah, that was my part of it. Like I
Well,
just.
Same here.
I'm gonna say now what I said then. I work at a school. I've been in administration, and if Candace and Monique had come into my office because they had gotten into an altercation, and I reviewed the tape, both of their asses was getting suspended, and that's how I feel about
That's
it.
but that's the whole point that I didn't even get either because we get the thing that Monique did was wrong and effed up and it was a build up and all this, but Candace was also a participant because what Scotty said earlier. Yes, it doesn't give you a right to drag someone or hit someone,
No.
but that is also antagonizing for you to
Yeah,
say drag me,
antagonizing
hit
behavior.
me.
Yep.
But it's like that's just like if I saw Scotty, if I say hit me, hit me, hit me, he hit me. I can't be like, oh well. And then it was the crying, the Mary Jane crying for me.
Oh Lord.
I
The
wanna.
post-it notes and all that stuff that she was
Can
doing.
I? Can
So
I?
then, do you think if Monique and Candice make up, and I'm not saying become friends again, if they just sit down and say, you want to know what? That was stupid. It was dumb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Will that just end everything? Will
No.
everybody be fine?
No,
Nope.
No.
I don't think
No,
no,
so.
No.
Hell no.
because it
Here's
played out
Okay,
on
well,
social media and then it got legal. It
that's
yeah.
went
true.
It
to
got
court.
Also,
to.
That's what. Honestly, I still say I don't think Candiace filed charges because of the fight. I think Candiace filed charges
Because
Cause
she
she
never
because
did.
of the
apologized.
social media stuff.
They,
wait,
it'll
Wanted to
well, yes,
never,
check.
she did.
nobody will ever be happy. I mean, look at Candy and Portia.
Yeah,
That's true.
With
it's
that
not happy.
particular situation, even though they are cordial, which if I was Candy, I would never be, but I ain't
Me
gonna go
too.
there.
I agree.
They
Yeah.
would never. The fan bases still aren't happy. They still
mhm.
hate Candy, and I still can't stand Portia. So
Well,
Exactly.
Scotty, can I
But
can I
why was
No.
nobody this upset when Portia dragged Kenya though? Like it was the
so
same.
because they couldn't stand Kenya.
well
Yeah, they
no.
Because
couldn't
they
I
didn't
stand.
like Kenya,
understand
so
that,
they
but
didn't
it's not.
care.
Dylan and everybody.
And
But
then
it should have been the
social
same
media
thing.
during that time wasn't a big thing like it was now. Like social media was there and stuff. Cause that was like 2005, and I think
I
social
wasn't
media
watching when
played
that
a
was
No,
happening.
that wasn't
That
2005.
was
That
like
was
13,
2000.
That
14.
was like 13, 14, no, 14 or 15, around
oh
that time.
really?
Well,
Wow,
Scotty, I
okay.
have a question.
Yeah,
Would
Kenya came on during like the after 2010.
I have a question, man. Okay. Um,
Hmm.
if season eight or whenever, yeah, season eight, whenever season seven happens, all the stuff. Now, in the future, if Monique comes back and if Candace and her decide to sit down, would y'all be okay with it, or do y'all just not want Monique back at all?
I feel like as
I wouldn't
grown
Keep
give
it
a
women,
going.
can I? As grown women, they do need to have a conversation. Like I get
Yeah.
that
I'm
it's
here for
not
Monique
legal.
coming
I
back.
get that it like people file charges and all that stuff happened, and nobody went to jail, nobody got sued, but it did get to that point. But I feel like as grown women, especially because at one point in time y'all were friends, there needs to be a conversation that was had.
Because
Do I
it's
think
Giselle's
Monique would
fault.
ever? Do I think that Monique would ever come back to this show? No. Do I think Andy is going to let her come back to this show? No, because she kind of like lightweight checked him when she said basically told him, I don't need this check. We have
That's
enough
true.
money. I don't need this check. And she was just starting to do her own business and she had her
Mhm.
podcast. So he got his little feelings hurt because she let him know, I don't need this check. He still got money. I
That's
don't
not
need this.
Right.
Ricardo. That's not what happened, Ricardo, baby. People forget Monique had already agreed to come back.
She did.
They had already signed their contracts. Monique was supposed to come back for season 6 after the reunion, and she saw how the reunion was edited and
Mm-hmm.
how
Yeah.
it made
That's
her
also
and
true.
Chris look. She emailed Bravo that the night of the final episode of the reunion and asked to be released from her contract, and Bravo allowed her. Monique was supposed to come back. So that's
As a
not
full
the case.
time or a friend?
No
Huh?
full
But
time.
that comment did
As a
sting him a
full
little bit,
time.
but that was the
She
reason
had
really
she had
did.
Yeah.
gotten her full time. She had gotten her She was coming back full time because think about it from a production perspective.
She's good
Forget
TV.
about our personal feelings. As
Yeah.
a producer,
She
that
different.
storyline is going to
Yes.
carry them all through season 6. The Monique, Candiace, are they going to be cool? Are they not going to be cool? Will they film with each other? Who's going to film with Monique? That would have carried them all the way
Yep.
through
Yeah.
season 6. So from a production standpoint, Monique was
Amazing.
gold.
But the problem is, in order for them to move forward, unfortunately, Monique has to be the one to admit. Because I honestly feel like if Monique says, you want to know what? I got caught up. I did,
But she said
you know,
all
make
did say
calls. I
that.
think Candiace
She
would
She
be
said that
receptive.
more than
But
it
once.
wasn't good enough. She said all that.
but she didn't admit that she was trying to spin the story though. That's
Yes,
that's
that's
the
the
part that
part.
Candiace
She
is
did that
mad
for a
at,
whole
right?
year.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
the
She
part.
has
Candiace
to,
was attacked on social media for an entire year,
But
even
Monique
before that
has to
season aired.
own that she did gaslight and she did dog whistle people on social media. She has to
She
own
got
that.
that
As
her
soon as she does, I
harassed.
honestly
It was
think that
ridiculous.
Candiace will sit down with her.
But also with the situation, we also have to look at the fact that even she, okay, so she wanted Candiace wanted an apology. She wholeheartedly wanted an apology.
And it took Monique months to even do it.
But here's the thing with that. If I give you an apology right now after something happened, and I have yet to process everything I did, and I'm still in the mindset of you took me there, but I have yet to say, okay, now what part exactly did I play into it? And what got me to this point to I put hands on somebody that was my former friend? What was wrong with me?
Yeah.
She wouldn't have meant that. She wouldn't have meant that apology. And here's my thing. I'll wait on her apology because I need you to mean the apology you're giving to me. If you're just giving me apology to placate me,
right
to
away.
make yourself feel better and whatever, it's not real, and it wouldn't have been real. And then that would have
I feel like Candiace wouldn't
this
accept it.
apology isn't real. So why are you giving it to me? So by the time she does apologize, you don't want the apology because it took too long. But it's like if somebody gave you that apology right after it happened, it's just like it wasn't real. She wouldn't have meant it. And then if she would have said, I apologize because you wanted me to, and I didn't mean it at the time, then we got a whole new problem on our hands.
But
So
I think both of them needs to
So
apologize.
the other thing is this going. I don't know why we're doing this, but going back to season 5. The other
baby, I'm
thing
falling
is,
asleep.
and this, I'm sorry, Scotty. And
Yeah.
this is the part that I think people forget too. The other thing was in real time when they were filming. Candiace and Monique were supposed to film. Monique was going to apologize to Candiace. They were supposed to have that conversation. But once Candiace went down and filed the paperwork, she didn't tell anybody she was filing this paperwork. Once Candiace went down there and filed that paperwork, she couldn't talk to her because then now it's a legal case. They can't talk now. So the apology that may have come, and I'm not saying Candiace was wrong for filing the paperwork. You do what you feel like you need to do. But once she made it a legal issue outside of the show, now they can't have the conversation because Monique is now in the middle of a criminal case. Yep. And she can't have the apology because now the apology is an admission of guilt, which can come back and kick her in the ass in court.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? So some of what we want, you got to look at the perspective of what was going on on the show in real time.
True.
We see the edited after the fact. Monique, and I'm only saying this because I know this. I know stuff. They were supposed to film it, but once Candiace filed that paperwork, production had to shut all of that down. And you notice Monique and Candiace were never together the rest of the season.
Nope.
I wouldn't have feel with that broad either. The fuck.
Can I pivot really quickly? Because I just want to get back to
No.
the
It was not. No. Candiace, I'm sorry, baby. I'm reading the chat. No. Candiace went down and she filed a case against Monique. It was thrown out, but she filed. It wasn't a civil case. She filed a criminal case. When that was thrown out, then she tried to make a go after Monique civilly, but she filed criminal charges against Monique.
Okay. Who was finna talk?
Me. It was
okay.
Me.
Who is me?
I was spicy, too spicy.
Oh,
no, because I know we getting ready to end it soon, and I wanted to respond to what you and Really B was saying earlier. So, okay, my opinion, I do think there is I see the comments. We all see the comments, right? We be in the comment section too. There is a lot of disrespect that happens in the comment section, but I still feel like ultimately there is a slight level of sensitivity to some of the negative comments, because one of the things that really does frustrate me when it comes to the YouTube tubers is like, y'all will have like, there'll be people who are trying to engage in like actual dialogue about the videos that you guys posted or the show itself, and those comments will get ignored. But the 2-3 trolls in the comment section, I mean, listen, love Terrence, but lately Terrence has been like taking screenshots and posting them to the community wall. And I'm like, but again, there'll be like people who are trying to like agree with you or like even engage in like a dialogue, and they get ignored. But we tend to hone in on the negative comments. And at the same time, I understand it's like human nature. It's like a million people can say something positive, but that one negative voice is the one that's the loudest, right? But I think like there should be some acknowledgement that like there is a slight level of sensitivity to negative comments. And then maybe as YouTubers, that everybody could do a little bit better with like, as much as possible, ignoring or just blocking, deleting whatever the negative comments and focusing on the positive comments. Or like I said, just the comments that are really like, y'all say post in the chat, right? Post in the comment section, let's discuss. So let's actually discuss.
Okay.
I do that all the time. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but I mean, I listen, somebody, again, when it becomes a personal attack, I'll delete it and keep it moving. I'm not that person. Like I said, the comments, they're not sensitive to me to the point, because they're not sensitive to me to the point where that's the one person I focus on. Generally speaking, I mean, I keep it moving. Like that don't. But I understand your point, and there are.
He has a
I
point.
see some YouTubers that I'm like, why are you giving that so much energy? Like F it, you know. So I agree with you to that extent. I do. I agree with you to that extent.
Because some people will make whole videos responding to like 2 or 3 people in the
I'm not doing that.
And I'll be like, why are we doing this? But like there'll be people in the comment section that's like actually like always subscribe, like have been subscribed for a long time, always comment, always like, always big up, we'll super chat, and we'll like try to engage in extra dialogue, and they will scroll right past that comment to go straight to the one troll that ain't
never lied.
They sure would.
Okay.
Scotty been guilty of this.
Okay. Okay. So since y'all trying to drag me,
let your fans beat them down. Let your fans argue with them. Ignore them.
Because you know, I love the windmill. I love the tussle.
Okay. So let me say this. You have a point. You have it. I am guilty of it. A lot of the times I see like it'll be like 100 comments in my comment section, and they're all positive, or they all having a conversation or whatever, and then I see one comment that may stain the entire damn comment section, and I pay more attention to that than I would the rest of them. So you are not lying, and that is why lately I've seen plenty of negative comments lately, and sometimes I'll respond then delete it just so I can get it out my system. Y'all don't probably see me arguing with them, but I have responded, but then I turn around and I delete the comment. Like, or there were times where I would pin the negative comment and then let the rest of the people that watch me drag them, and I just let them drag. And then once I'm tired of them dragging them, then I delete the whole thing altogether. But y'all are right. That's why I decided that I'm just going to, not even pay much attention to the comment section like that. Well, not just the comment section, because I do like to read comments, but I would definitely not focus too much on negativity.
You gotta filter it out. That's what it is.
Let the Scotty gang jump on. They're gonna get jumped anyway. Let the Scotty gang jump on.
And what have I told you, Scotty? What has really be told you about that, Scotty?
I get it. I'm not a YouTuber, but listen, when like a month ago when they had that conversation on Twitter about a possible versus battle between Jodeci and Drew Hill, and I said I think Drew Hill could win, all the aunties and uncles jumped on my case, and they were like, all y'all aunties and uncles would not let me live. My Twitter blew up, and I was like, y'all, I'm sorry, but I do think Drew Hill can win. Now,
what Drew Hill gonna win? What?
We're not. This is not.
See, and there go another auntie trying to come for you now.
I'm just messing. Y'all, we gotta let Scotty go to bed because I got
We
Yeah.
do
to
have to
Exactly. Scotty ready to go to bed. He tired of
I
y'all.
get how it's
But
hard to ignore negative comment, but I just wanted, like I said, for all the YouTubers watching right now, I just want to challenge everybody to like give the positive comments as much attention as you give the negative comments. That's all I'm saying. Like if you're gonna go back and forth with the negative comments and the trolls, okay, cool, that's your channel, you do what you want to. But if you're not giving the same attention to your day ones, the subscribers that's been here riding for you, sending you super chats,
Call them out.
always engaging, getting them likes up. If you're not gonna give them the same amount of attention, then you're doing something wrong.
That's
Well, I'm
valid.
not
And I
that big yet, so can y'all subscribe to me so I can get some negative?
right, and I wanted to say
Prosperity,
something
this
too.
girl 40. God damn
I
it.
want to say something
I
before I
can,
let.
and for those people who may be watching the replay when it comes out, you see how I just got some constructive criticism, and I did not go the fuck off and cuss her out and drag and all this other shit. You see how I sat here and took it because she has a point. She got a point.
Scotty, this
Right,
could
and
be listen, when you maybe down in the future, this could be a good panel discussion to talk about. We could talk about subscribers and content creators and let y'all sound off because the reality is I can take constructive criticism and we do need to hear that because the reality is sometimes even though we're subscribers and we subscribe to other people, our perspective is different. And so sometimes we y'all need to check us sometime and be like, you know what? This is what y'all do. Y'all pay attention to the negative. You overlook the positive, and it's way more people, bigging you up than it is coming, dragging you down. And sometimes you do get caught up in that. Sometimes you do get caught up in that. So we need to be checked sometimes. So this could be like a good conversation to have because maybe it will remind us.
I love it.
Y'all, but the key word is constructive criticism is the key word. Constructive. Remember
People
the
need to
word
learn to give
constructive, okay?
people need to learn to give criticism positively or respectfully.
Yes.
You don't have to be disrespectful. You can just say I disagree respectfully and then give your point of view in a paragraph. It's called debating. People don't know how to debate.
I'm gonna say this, and I promise I'm gonna shut up and go to bed, Scotty. But I have two loyal subscribers in my chat when I'm live. They are there every time I go live, and I promise you, I feel like they show up just to disagree with me. I promise you. I be like, I could say the sky is blue, and they will tell me, really, the sky is not blue. It's more of a coral greenish color, and I'll be like, but what? And but we have a good time, you know what I'm saying? But when I see them in the chat and I don't say nothing, I speak to them just like I speak to everybody else. But in my mind, I'll be like, here we go. They go, and when they started coming to my channel, when they subscribed to me, season 6 of Real Housewives of Potomac. They were Candiace stands, and they used to give me the blues about Candiace.
Team Candiace.
But they stayed, like they stayed, and they are loyal. Like they are in my chat. When I say every time I go live, they in there, and I be like, y'all must really like me because y'all there every time.
But see, I even made a post on my community wall saying, to my subscribers, if y'all see me interacting with somebody that's trying to be hateful, please check me. I even said to check me. I even said that. So I'm open to it. I'm glad she did it to my face.
Well, I would be sure to be
but sometimes when we check you, you be like, I did not choose peace today. I chose violence, and let me choose violence.
Give me shelter
because some people deserve it
used to give me shelter. She gave me the blues too, but you're not even the person I'm talking about. But she did. She give me shelter gave me the blues too, honey.
But I wouldn't say, but Scotty, thank you for like having a panel where people can have their opinions, especially on like serious issues. Because like I said, all of us didn't agree on the same thing, but it's also a good thing to talk about these types of issues because, especially in the Black community, a lot of things are going on right now, and it's good to hear other people's opinions and learning and things like that.
That's another.
And I love
thing
you,
too.
Rennie B. I love you too.
Oh, thank you.
That's another thing too. I decided to do these like live chats with my subscribers so it can be a place where it's comfortable for people that watch me to give their opinions, whether they're in the chat or if they're in the comment section or not. That's why I do these, and I really have a good time talking to my subscribers when we do these. So that's why I do this stuff. And then sometimes people have negative things to say about that. Oh, why is he doing it? Having honor people up there, blah blah blah. Oh, shut the fuck up. That's how I feel. Like I'm doing it because I want to. But however, y'all, this was a great
Time to go to
conversation.
bed.
Gotta wrap that thing up.
We went an hour and 30 minutes over the time. But it's all
Lord
right.
have mercy.
As we always
That's
do.
the norm, Scotty. You acting like this is new. Come on now.
It happens every time I do this, but it's okay.
Would you like to do it in the daytime or in the nighttime? Which one?
See, the only reason why I'm doing it at night is because I work during the day, and then I know most people that probably watch me probably working, so they can't come up. I think it's better to do it at night
You gotta
versus
do it a little earlier during the nighttime.
Well, the only reason why I didn't do it
for 2 hours.
earlier.
It don't matter.
See, the only reason why I didn't do it earlier today is because I had did another video earlier. I did a Yes for the Mess earlier, so I wanted y'all to see that first.
Was it about her or was she yesterday? She can't
Who?
pay. Sheree, she can't pay. Her.
Was she yesterday? I'm not sure.
Sheree, she can't pay.
I know who you talking about. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Or was it about her?
Shibashin?
Oh yeah, I did
It was
talk
a
about her today.
compilation, I think. It was a compilation of different stories.
Yeah, it was a compilation because I talk about the stuff that happened in Memphis. I talked about her. I talked about the stuff that happened in Candiace's restaurant. I talked about Turk.
That Candiace's restaurant was crazy.
Yeah.
See, I watched.
So, but yeah, y'all
That
get
Memphis
the hell out of
one was
here so I can go to bed. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
You be here.
Have a great night.
Good night.
And y'all make sure y'all liking this video.
Please.
Scotty, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. I got something to tell you, but I'm going to bed right now.
Yes.
All right.
Love you, Scotty.
Love all of you. Thank you. All right, everybody. And that was another lit live chat with you guys tonight. I definitely enjoyed it. It was a healthy conversation, a healthy debate. Just great all the way together. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We almost hit 200 people, which is more than I anticipated tonight. But thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank Andrew Gaber for coming into my chat. Thank you to Alex Salter for coming into my chat as well. Prosperity. Really be all the other content creators that were here. I wish T was here. I really do. But thank all of you guys for coming up. Thank you to all my Scotty gang that came up there and gave their opinions and even gave me constructive criticism. I just want to thank all you guys for that. I definitely appreciate it. And that's all I got on that. Tomorrow night, let me just let y'all know what's up. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow night for Boys Night Out. We will be up here tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So be sure to tune in for that. We got everything together for the show tomorrow, so I cannot wait for you guys to see. We're gonna have us a good ass time on Boys Night Out tomorrow. Shout outs to Josiah. He is currently grieving. He lost a family member, so that's why we're gonna go ahead and do Boys Night Out on Friday instead of Saturday because he has a funeral to attend. Shout out to Josiah. Make sure y'all give him all of your condolences and your prayers. My friend is grieving right now, so be sure to do that. Y'all know we all love Josiah in this building. Y'all already know that, so be sure to do that if you can. But Boys Night Out will definitely be back on and running after a 3-week hiatus. We will be back for that at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow night. So with that being said, y'all, we are out of here. We are done for tonight, and I'm gonna leave you guys with 3 promos. All right, 3 promos, and I'm out here, y'all. Until next time, holla.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Tremel. I just wanted to say that I have a new project that's out. It's called Mixed Feelings. It's on all streaming platforms. I would hope that you would go and check it out. It's a really good feel of an album. It's got everything you need and more. It's got R&B, it's got a little bit of pop, it's got a little bit of hip hop. It's everything that you need and more. It's out all streaming platforms, like I said. Please check me out, and you can also follow me at IAM_Tremel. That's IAM_TRAMEL. Check me out. I hope to hear from you.